The day of awakening had arrived, and abnormal phenomena had spread everywhere. Storms and lightning were raging across the sky simultaneously. All the hunters had gathered together at the S-rank dungeon, which was known as the Death Den in ancient existence. The first S-rank dungeon to appear on Blue Star. For decades, the Death Den dungeon had never been conquered. Countless powerful beings had perished within it. In front of it stood the Awakeners, and among them, we see our hero. His name is Su-ming. A sword was in his hand, and he stood before all the Awakeners gathered there. One of the Awakeners laughed and said, "Su-ming, stop trying to cling to life. Hand over the divine artifact." Another shouted, "God of Slaughter, your luck has run out. Tell us where you've hidden the divine artifact, and maybe we'll let your body remain intact." Everyone was standing with their weapons, suited to their professions. Then another spoke, "Su-ming, surrender. We know you're the hero of humanity, so we'll grant you an easy death." Hearing all their words, our hero raised his sword and said, "To think you'd all ambush me the moment I cleared the dungeon, just to steal the divine artifact. So this was your plan all along, Zhang Tang?" Among them, a man named Zhang Tang stepped forward, laughing as he drew his sword from his inventory, pointing it straight at our hero. "Hand over the divine artifact, Su-ming. For the sake of our past brotherhood, I won't kill you. I'll just destroy all your power." Hearing that, our hero also laughed and said, "I must have been blind. Since I was 18, I've treated you like a brother, fighting by your side all these years. To think I never saw how venomous you truly are, since all you want is the divine artifact." And instantly, he released a powerful surge of energy. The environment around them changed. Dark energy, light energy, and red-colored energy were radiating from our hero's body. With his sword raised before him, he continued, "If you want a taste of the divine ring of defiance's power, then come and take it. But I'm afraid none of you have the ability." Seeing the energy emanating from our hero, one Awakener exclaimed, "This power! This is undoubtedly a divine artifact." Another shouted, "There's no time to waste. Kill Su-ming and find the divine artifact he's hiding." But Zhang Tang laughed and said, "Wait, he has the power of the divine artifact now. We can't act rashly. The plan is just one step away from completion." While they were talking, someone suddenly flew down from the sky, calling out our hero's name. As she got closer, she rushed straight to him and hugged him tightly. Seeing her, our hero said her name, "Ren Xiaoman, what are you doing here?" Ren Xiaoman wrapped her arms around his neck and said, "I heard someone was plotting against you, Su-ming. I was so worried." Hearing her words, our hero smiled faintly and said, "It's okay. I've already obtained the divine artifact, the divine ring of defiance." Then, looking at all the Awakeners before him, he added, "They're no match for me. But there's one thing I don't understand. How did they know my whereabouts?" Before he could finish, Ren Xiaoman said coldly, "I'm the one who told them about you." And as she said that, she launched an energy-type attack directly at him. The blast struck his stomach, leaving a gaping wound from which blood poured out. Seeing this, our hero, shocked and trembling, asked, "Why? Why did you do this?" At that very moment, all the Awakeners shouted together and charged toward our hero. "It's a success! The final catalyst is in place. Activate imprisonment formation." A massive formation appeared, and our hero was trapped within it. The center of the formation was precisely where Ren Xiaoman's attack had struck, right in the wound in his abdomen. As he struggled within the glowing trap, he thought to himself, "This cursed seal. It's from Ren Xiaoman. Could it be? She betrayed me long ago?" Meanwhile, Ren Xiaoman quickly ran to Zhang Tang and hugged him. Looking at Su-ming, she said softly, "Forgive me, Su-ming." Zhang Tang laughed darkly and said, "This is the imprisonment formation we prepared specially for you. You can no longer use your power. To tell you the truth, I was only ever with you because of Zhang Tang. When I saw you'd awakened a 9-star talent, I knew I could use you to get the divine artifact." In front of them, our hero could no longer stand on his own. He fell to the ground, roaring in pain. All the awakeners began attacking at once, some with magic, some with weapons, some firing arrows, each one trying to kill him and seize the divine artifact. As all their attacks rushed toward him, the ground suddenly split open, and from beneath it, skeletons began to rise. Among them was a girl, the one who had summoned the skeletons. She shouted, "Stop!" Seeing her standing there, our hero asked weakly, "What are you doing here?" The necromancer girl looked at him and shouted, "Su-ming, don't give up. You can't let these despicable cowards get the divine artifact." Her name was Jai Yao. Seeing her, Zhang Tang roared in anger, "Another one looking to die. There are dozens of masters here. Not even an emperor descending from the heavens could save Su-ming now." Everyone began attacking Jai Yao's skeleton warriors at once, shattering them continuously. Taking advantage of the chaos, Zhang Tang moved swiftly, reaching Jai Yao and stabbing her in the stomach with his sword. "Anyone who dares block my path will die," he snarled. Jai Yao fell to the ground from the strike. Seeing this, our hero shouted her name in anguish. Then Zhang Tang turned to Su-ming, smirking. "This is no time to waste energy worrying about others. You can die too. Hand over the divine artifact, and I might consider sparing your worthless life." Trapped in the formation, our hero screamed as he tried to break free. He activated a powerful technique called *divine level burst*. The moment he used it, the entire area trembled violently. The others stumbled back in fear. The power. "This is a divine level technique. Get back as fast as you can," some hunters shouted. And there, amidst the shaking ground, our hero broke free from the formation. He rushed to Jai Yao, who was lying on the ground, and held her in his arms. "Jai Yao, why did you do this? Why did you come here? I've disappointed you so many times. So why?" he said in a trembling voice. Jai Yao placed her hand gently on his face and whispered, "If we die, then we'll die together." With that, she closed her eyes. Our hero lifted her in his arms, his expression twisted with rage. He looked at everyone before him, eyes burning. Raising his hand, his sword flew from the sky and landed perfectly in his grasp. He shouted with fury, "Su-ming, the god of slaughter, swears an oath here and now. If I am ever reborn, I will hunt you down and tear you all to pieces." Ren Xiaoman, Zhang Tang, everyone froze in terror, watching him. Seeing Su-ming's overwhelming rage, Ren Xiaoman turned to Zhang Tang and asked fearfully, "What is he doing?" Zhang Tang's face turned pale. He shouted, "He's trying to drag the divine artifact back into the death den with him. Stop him as soon as possible. Seize the divine artifact." But our hero, gripping the divine artifact in his hand, glared at them all and shouted, "You all want this divine artifact, right? Then come and take it." And with that, he released the divine artifact. A massive surge of power burst forth, blinding light and roaring lightning erupted from within it, engulfing everything in sight. As soon as that bright light appears across the entire area, our hero begins to close his eyes. However, while he is closing his eyes, he sees a shining light, and looking at that glowing radiance, he says with confusion, "Am I dead?" And the moment he fully opens his eyes, he finds himself somewhere completely different. Seeing the school building in front of him, he thinks in shock, "Where am I? This place, it looks familiar." At that very moment, someone shouts through a microphone, "It's out!" At the 127th Awakening Ceremony of Xuanzong First Academy, classmate Wang Qiang has successfully changed his profession. A couple of people are called for their awakening. They awaken, and after witnessing their awakening, people say most of the ones awakened at the awakening ceremony today aren't combat professions. Then someone else says, "Enchanter is a very useful life profession. His status won't be low in the future." Our hero stands among them, and watching everything, he thinks in complete shock. This is the awakening ceremony. This familiar feeling, I've traveled back to when I was 18, to the day of the awakening ceremony. Looking at the student who just awakened, He thinks in surprise, the student who just successfully awakened, Fatty, Wang Qiang, in my past life, he was also an enchanter. If I remember correctly, the ones awakening next are Lai Songyang, successfully awakened. Combat profession, warrior. Innate attribute, 2-star, Kaian Yu, awakening failed. Song Lai, successfully awakened. Battle mage. On stage, the host shouts and calls the next classmate Lai Songyang. As soon as he steps onto the stage and completes his awakening, he joyfully says, I succeeded. Then his awakening result appears, combat profession, warrior, innate attribute, 2-star. Next comes the one named Kaian Yu. Walking toward the stage emotionally, he says, I have waited so long and worked so hard for this awakening. The boy beside him tells him, don't be too sad. However, when Kaian Yu steps onto the stage and begins his awakening process, he fails. Then the next classmate, Song Lai, is called. He awakens successfully, and his profession is mage. Students are called one after another. Watching all this, our hero clenches his teeth in excitement and thinks, combat profession, warrior, innate attribute 2-star, this chance to live again, is it heaven's will for me to rewrite all my regrets? While he is thinking this, some students suddenly shout in shock, look there, a hidden combat profession. On stage stands a boy named Zhang Tang. As soon as he awakens, a powerful energy erupts revealing a hidden profession. Zhang Tang awakens the magic hammer warrior, and his innate attribute is level 8-star. Seeing this, the students become excited. One shouts, the first hidden combat profession has appeared. Another girl beside him says, it's Zhang Tang, after all. The young master of the Zhang family. His father is a war emperor, and his mother is a magic warrior. His bloodline was pure to begin with. Our hero looks at Zhang Tang on stage and grits his teeth in anger. Looking at his profession, the host announces loudly, congratulations are in order. Arc Xuanjing First Academy has produced an 8-star genius so early this year. At that moment, someone places a hand on our hero's shoulder from behind and says, so you're here, Su Ming. I've been looking for you everywhere. Our hero turns around and, seeing the girl, says, Jia Yao Yu. Seeing him so surprised, Jia Yao asks, why are you shocked? Is there something on my face? Hearing this, our hero quickly says, no, I just wanted to congratulate you in advance. Jia Yao asks, why are you congratulating me? Hearing her question, our hero suddenly remembers the moment from his previous life when Jia Yao died in his arms. Remembering that scene and hearing Jia Yao's voice, he says softly, it's nothing. You'll know when you go up in a moment. Then he thinks to himself, it feels so good to see you again. Just then, Jia Yao's name is called on stage. Hearing her name, she rushes toward the platform, saying, it's my turn now. The host instructs, classmate, please place your hand on the heavenly steel. Jia Yao places her hand on the heavenly steel device, and the moment she does, a powerful lightning erupts. Seeing this, students shout, that's a hidden profession too. From below the stage, students scream excitedly. Jia Yao awakens a hidden combat profession, necromancer, innate level 7-star. Another student says, that's so awesome, another hidden combat profession. For real? Our academy is so popular this year, isn't it? Watching this, our hero smiles happily and says, this was completely expected. And now, it's my turn. The awakening continues, and our hero is finally called to the stage. Students are still talking about the 2 hidden professions. 2 hidden professions have already been awakened in a row. There won't be a third, right? Someone else says. I don't think so. He's Su Ming from class 1. He's an orphan. He has nothing. In a world dominated by the awakened blue star dragon country decades ago, after the day of awakening arrived, every person who reaches the age of 18 can complete a profession change by participating in the awakening ceremony, becoming one of the awakened. The awakened have changed the face of this world. Not only can they possess the power to bend the rules and the wealth and equipment to change their destiny, But at the same time, they must also face ferocious giant beasts and terrifying dungeons, as well as countless challenges. As our hero walks toward the stage and prepares to place his hand on the awakening device, he thinks, "And in my past life, as an orphan, I lived my life relying on relief funds and scholarships. On the day of the awakening ceremony, I was very fortunate to be favored by the heavens. A celestial phenomenon also appeared at that time. In the end, I awakened with a 9-star innate attribute, the legendary profession, God of Slaughter. And today, in this life, I will once again make everyone see me in a new light." Thinking this, he places his hand on the device. The moment he touches it, the entire area begins to change. Seeing this, the host shouts in shock. This kind of fluctuation, could it be the birth of a genius with a 9-star or higher innate attribute? Students scream. Such a phenomenon, could it be another hidden profession? Someone beside them says, "No way, right? That would be 3 in a row. That's too insane." Meanwhile, our hero, with his hand on the device, thinks, "Come on, let me feel the fluctuation of these runes once more." And as he thinks this, the divine artifact ring automatically appears in front of him. Seeing it, he says in shock, "This is the divine artifact, divine ring of defiance. It actually traveled through time with me." Suddenly, a panel appears before him. Seeing it, he says in amazement, "What is this?" The system panel had activated, displaying everything clearly. Strongest class change, God slaying system. Binding successful. The system has bound a new profession for you. Awakening successful. Mythical profession, sword god. Reading all this, our hero stares in disbelief and says with shock and excitement, "A mythical profession, sword god." Because of the mythical profession, a dangerous phenomenon begins forming in the sky. The entire sky changes color, and strong winds start blowing wildly. The host struggles to steady himself against the fierce winds and shouts, "For a phenomenon like this to appear, what on earth is he changing his profession into?" The students who were laughing at our hero moments ago are now completely shocked. One of them says in disbelief, "If it's a combat profession, that would be amazing. If it's a life profession, it'll be a tragedy." The boy standing beside him snaps, "Are you stupid? A phenomenon like this could never be a life profession." Seeing that our hero isn't moving at all, Zhang Tang asks, "Why hasn't he moved yet?" Meanwhile, our hero stands before the device, staring at the system panel in complete shock. Reading it, he thinks, "The awakened profession is sword god, not the god of slaughter from my previous life." He touches the system with his finger, confused about why this golden system is different from his past life. The moment his finger touches it, the system scans his fingerprint. It then identifies him, target Suming confirmed. Suddenly, a symbol shaped like a sword appears in the middle of the panel. On it is written that he has awakened the sword god profession and acquired the golden talent sublimation of all things. Reading this, our hero is stunned. Golden talent? His face then lights up with excitement. This is even higher than the 9-star profession level I awakened in my past life. If that's really the case, it should surpass my god of slaughter from the last life. He begins checking more features in the system. He clicks somewhere, and the skill interface opens, but there are no skills listed. The system even says that no ability or skill has awakened yet. Our hero is confused, tapping around the panel. What nonsense is this? At least give me one skill. How did you even become worthy of golden grade? He is still standing on the stage while other students whisper, "What is he doing? Why is he dragging his hands and feet around?" The host asks him, "Classmate Suming, have you completed your profession awakening?" Ignoring everyone, our hero mutters angrily while looking at the panel. "Not a single skill. Then what's the difference from before I awakened? Is this system messing with me?" Suddenly, a message appears, "Receiving feedback, continuing to guide you." He clicks it. An option appears, "Ring identification required." The moment he identifies it, a glowing ring materializes before him. Another notification pops up, divine ring of defiance successfully identified. Instantly, a powerful burst of lightning shoots into the sky from our hero's body. Seeing this, the host shouts, "Such a strong fluctuation! Is the awakening complete?" Soon, our hero's innate level becomes visible 10 stars. The host is shocked. It's 10 stars. His profession has changed into a hidden profession, sword controller. Hearing this, all the students gasp. One says, "Innate attribute, 10 stars. What kind of heaven-defying monster is this?" Another mutters, "This is the talent level of a top scorer." A third adds, "Holy crap, I thought Jang Tang's 8-star magic hammer warrior was terrifying, but now there's a 10-star maxed out one." The excited host announces from the mic, "This year is truly a year of budding talents for the Academy. Not only do we have multiple hidden professions, but also a heavens chosen with a 10-star attribute. Even though the sword controller profession isn't outstanding among swordsmen, he possesses a 10-star talent. I believe Su-ming has limitless potential. As the principal, I award him a set of cultivation assisting items." Our hero steps down from the stage and walks through the crowd. Students mumble as he passes by, to think it's only a sword controller. What a waste of his talent. Sword controller is the worst among swordsmen. He has to cultivate both magic and physical attacks. Combat power becomes mediocre. Truly a case of God opening a door only to close the back gate. A 10-star talent, but the pathetic sword controller. What a fall. He will struggle even in the novice dungeon. Another girl comments, "The report on awakened professions says that if a sword controller works hard, they can become a reliable support DPS. With Su-ming's talent, I think he can grow." Listening to all these voices, our hero thinks, in their eyes, the sword controller is just trash. Just then, Jia Yao runs to him and congratulates him. He congratulates her back. She smiles and says, "They're all talking nonsense. With your 10-star talent, you're amazing. Even if sword controller is weak early on, you'll be fine with your talent." He thanks her and says he doesn't take their words seriously. "Their reaction is exactly what I wanted," he adds. Jia Yao looks confused. The next classmate is called. All the boys whisper excitedly, "She's so beautiful." Ren Xiaoman walks to the stage. Jia Yao says, "As expected of our school belle, she's so popular." Ignoring everything, our hero heads toward the exit. Jia Yao calls out, "The ceremony isn't over. Ren Xiaoman just went up." He replies, "I'm not interested." Walking out, he thinks, "In my past life, that woman used my talent and betrayed me. I said before I will have my revenge." Leaving the awakening hall, he looks around the city streets and says to himself, "Nothing has changed. Everything is exactly the same, except my profession." He checks the panel again. A notification appears, "Skill, total concealment legendary. Return to true self able to hide or rewrite information like equipment, profession, skills. One of the 4 skills from my previous life." He remembers the ring from before and summons it. The system loads the divine artifact and informs him, "You have inherited a portion of the skills from the god-slaying profession." He is stunned. A new profession, sword god, with the skills of a god of slaughter. His stats show strength, constitution, agility, spirit, luck all at 10. Profession, sword god mythical grade, world unique. Talent, sublimation of all things. Skills, god of slaughter's strike, total concealment, divine shadow step, eye of insight. He thinks an ordinary man is innocent, but owning a jade ring brings disaster. To avoid being used again, I must hide my sword god profession. I must seize this second life. He continues walking and thinks, the day after the awakening ceremony, the novice dungeon will appear. It's no challenge for me. To level up fast and get better gear, I must defeat the strongest boss first. But before that, I need a good weapon. After this, the story shifts some time later, where we see Ren Xiaoman and Zhang Tang inside a building. The two of them were having a physical relationship. Xiaoman says to Zhang Tang, You're really bad, classmate Jiang Tang. The awakening ceremony just ended this morning, and now you're taking me to a place like this. Hearing this, Jiang Tang says angrily, "Don't mention the awakening ceremony. That Su Ming completely stole my thunder." Then Xiaoman says, "Don't be mad, although that Su Ming is just an e-sword controller. The attributes he awakened are too high. He'll definitely have a lot of use value in the future." Hearing this, Jiang Tang becomes happy and asks what she means. Ren Xiaoman shows something in her phone, and seeing it, Jiang Tang becomes slightly shocked. Xiaoman smiles and says, "If I go and bait him a little, he'll definitely take the hook and be of use to us in the future." After this, the story shifts to our hero, who has now arrived at the weapon shop. As he enters the weapon workshop, the receptionist standing at the front welcomes him, saying, "Welcome to the weapon shopping area on the 12th floor. We wish our customers a pleasant shopping experience." While walking inside, our hero thinks, it seems this year's awakening ceremony at the nearby schools has all ended. The awakened students are all preparing for tomorrow's novice dungeon trial. Meanwhile, someone looking at a weapon shouts, "Wow! This is the latest model from the advertisement. I want it so bad." The other customer beside him says, "Forget it. For us awakened students, how could we afford such an expensive weapon? Let's just use our awakened abilities to work like dogs and earn money in the future." There were many weapons here, so the place was lively and noisy. A customer looks at another weapon and says, "This is that tyrant's frigid sword. It was recently forged by a very high-level greatsword class player. I can't believe it's already available on the market." Someone beside him says, "A price of 1 million advent coins, so expensive." The other person replies, "Of course, as long as this sword hits a target, it can completely freeze the blood inside a monster. It's a diamond-grade weapon." Our hero listens to their discussion while moving forward. Suddenly someone calls him from behind, "Wait, are you classmate Su Ming?" Hearing this, our hero turns around and asks, "Who are you?" The girl steps forward and hands him a card, saying, "I am Zhang Lan, the vice director of the Jiang'an conglomerate. This is my business card." Hearing this, our hero takes the card and says he doesn't think he knows her. Zhang Lan continues, "Classmate Su Ming, on behalf of the Jiang'an conglomerate, I will cover all of your expenses here today. I hope classmate Su Ming can do me a favor." Our hero asks what kind of favor. She says, "Bring the photograph." The bodyguard behind her says yes and shows a photo on his phone. After showing it, Zhang Lan says, "This is my younger sister, Zhang Yinjing. She goes to the same school as you. She also successfully awakened this morning. I have already thoroughly investigated the news about you awakening a 10-star talent, classmate Su Ming. With your talent, tomorrow's novice dungeon shouldn't be too difficult for you. I'm sure you know that only newly awakened profession changers can enter the novice dungeon. I hope you can team up with her and protect her as she completes the challenge in the novice dungeon." Hearing this, our hero thinks that he isn't interested at all and starts walking away. As soon as Zhang Lan hears this, she calls from behind, "As long as you agree, you can pick any weapon in this store. As a poor student who just successfully awakened, you shouldn't refuse me." Hearing this, our hero says, "If that's the case, then give me that sword." Everyone looks at the sword he pointed at and says, "That frosty sky cold sword worth 1 million. That guy's making an exorbitant demand." Zhang Lan also reacts and says, Are you trying to make things difficult for me? Do you really think you're worth 1 million with your current status?" Our hero replies calmly, "Weren't you the one who said I could pick whatever I want? If you're not willing, then let's just forget it. There are many things where you can't take a shortcut just with financial power. Have your sister put all her effort into preparing for tomorrow's novice dungeon test." A bodyguard steps forward in anger, but Zhang Lan stops him. Looking at our hero, she says, "Interesting, classmate Su Ming. We'll consider this our offense against you this time." Then she leaves. People watching whisper, "That guy refused the people from the Jiang'an conglomerate." Just then, our hero receives a message on his phone. Opening it, he wonders who it is. The message was from Ren Xiaoman. It read, "Suming, haven't you always liked me? I've had a change of heart. I want to see you. Tonight, on the roof of the school building." Reading this, our hero becomes angry and thinks the exact same message. Even though I didn't awaken into the god-slaying profession this time, she still, Ren Xiaoman, you really haven't changed at all. The me at this time in my previous life, he types back. Okay, I'll meet you there. After this, our hero walks further inside. A receptionist asks, "How can I help you?" Our hero asks, "Are these the raw sword stones that can randomly produce high-quality sword weapons?" The girl replies, "Yes, these raw weapon stones have a chance to produce silver-grade weapons. But sir, you must understand, it's all based on probability. Most raw stones only produce the lowest grade weapons. I hope you'll consider it carefully before buying." Our hero picks up a raw sword stone and says, "This is exactly what I want. Compared to buying a silver weapon at a high price that will soon be obsolete, gambling for a silver one here at a cheap price is the most suitable option." He thinks, rather than calling it a gamble, I should say that I can see the data within these raw stones. This is all thanks to the second skill left to me by my god-slaying profession from my past life. He activates his Eye of Insight skill. Eye of Insight Legendary, Return to True Self. The user's eyes possess the true power of insight, able to perceive the fundamental information of all matter. He picks up one stone and looks at it, thinking, this is it. Compared to ordinary silver weapons that sell for hundreds or thousands of advent coins, getting one now for just 50 is an absolute steal. It's perfectly suited for me, now that I'm back to being a poor student. While he is holding the stone, someone approaches and says, "Hey, isn't that the kid who just rejected the Jongan conglomerate? What's that in his hand?" More people gather and say, "Isn't that one of those trashy raw weapon stones for gambling on weapons?" Another one adds, "I thought you were some big shot with a lot of confidence, rejecting a treat from a conglomerate just to come here and play with these trashy stones. Are you an idiot?" Hearing them, our hero grows angry and thinks, I recognize him. Yongding, the rich kid who specialized in bullying lower-classmen in my past life. So annoying. He glares at them and says, "Hey, I'm talking to you. Do you guys dare to bet 5,000 advent coins that I can get a silver weapon?" The two boys laugh and say he's definitely an idiot. They mock him, saying, "These raw weapon stones have a 99.99% chance of producing trash. I've never seen someone who likes to give away money." Our hero replies, "We'll see who gives who the money. Are you betting or not?" After that, they settle the bet. Our hero says he will open it now and tells them not to even think about stepping back. He places the stone in front of him as the system notification appears, confirm opening the raw stone. A crowd gathers. The boy who made the bet laughs and says, "We'll see if a poor bastard like you can even cough up 5,000 for me." Our hero activates the Eye of Insight and sees the weapon inside the stone. He quickly strikes it and says, "I can see the weapon inside. Come out." The stone cracks open. The two boys who bet against him stare in shock, because in our hero's hand, a weapon appears. Then the system notification rings, weapon acquired, black iron crimson edge sword, low-grade silver, special affix blood drinker. After this sword injures a monster, it can absorb the drawn blood to heal the wielder's injuries. Our hero smiles and says, "This is a really good weapon, and it's just right for tonight's date." Our hero pulls the sword out from the raw weapon stone, and everyone present who had been laughing at him just moments ago is completely stunned. The two students who had made a bet with him are utterly shocked. They can hardly believe their eyes. One of them stops mid-sentence, while the other, in amazement, says, "He was lucky." Meanwhile, our hero examines the sword and its sharpener, saying, "This sword isn't bad. It even has a lifesteal effect, saves me the trouble of a healer." Immediately, a system notification pops up. You have obtained your Xuan steel sword, silver grade lifesteal. Effect, plus 10%. Then, pointing the sword at the student who had made the bet, he says, "A bet's a bet, so I'll be taking these 5,000 Advent coins." The student trembles in fear and quickly sends the 5,000 coins while saying, "Boy, I'll remember you. You'll regret this." Our hero checks his account and remarks, "Next time, don't make bets with people so easily." Meanwhile, the receptionist girl, witnessing all this, is slightly confused and says, "The stats in the middle. It's been years since anyone in the shop got a weapon from a raw weapon stone." Afterward, our hero approaches the receptionist and says, "Hello, I also need a matching scabbard. If I remember correctly, that should be exactly 5,000 coin, right?" Hearing this, the receptionist comes over and replies, Yes, I have it. Please come with me to choose a scabbard." Meanwhile, the two students run out yelling, and the crowd that had gathered begins to disperse, murmuring, "Move aside, this kid is incredibly lucky." Our hero selects a scabbard, and as he does, a notification pops up. "You have obtained a silver grade scabbard. Effect: weapon durability consumption reduced by 50%. Placing the sword in the scabbard, he thinks, "With the scabbard, I can greatly reduce the weapon's durability consumption. I don't have enough funds to replace my sword right now." The receptionist thanks him for his patronage as he inspects his weapon. At that moment, another system notification appears, telling him, "Unlock hidden weapon materialization function." Seeing this, our hero says, "Not yet. I'm going to take this weapon and raise it by another grade." Leaving the workshop, he moves forward, holding the sword and glancing at the panel, thinking, "In this life, although I've awakened as a sword god, I don't have a single usable profession skill. But on the profession talent tree, there is a very powerful original talent." He interacts with the panel, creating an aura on the weapon, and a system notification appears. Sublimation of all things can upgrade the quality of any loot, such as combat skills, equipment, scrolls, etc. Any item can only be sublimated or indirectly sublimated once. Reading the notification, our hero smiles and thinks, "Just by having this talent alone, it's truly worthy of the golden grade profession that the sword god represents." Activating the hidden weapon matriculation function, he successfully enables sublimation of all things, and receives a weapon sublimation called Bloodthirst, blood drink. After this sword locks onto a target, it can absorb the target's blood through attacks or contact to heal the wielder's injuries. Bloodthirst: after killing a monster with this sword, the wielder's all stats will be temporarily increased by 5 points for 30 seconds. Excited, he says, "After killing an enemy, I can get a temporary buff that boosts all my stats. Not bad." Open the hidden weapon materialization function. Now tomorrow's novice dungeon will be much easier. The story then shifts to the evening, where our hero decides to meet Ren Xiaoman. Ren Xiaoman is standing on the rooftop, and as soon as she senses our hero, she seductively says, "You finally came, although you're late." However, she is immediately shocked as she realizes our hero has already raised his sword to attack. Seeing the sword coming toward her, Ren Xiaoman screams and steps back, asking, "What are you doing, Su Ming?" Angrily, our hero replies, "I'm here for my revenge." Hearing this, Ren Xiaoman trembles with fear and asks, "Revenge? What revenge are you talking about? I even accepted your confession." She shows the chat on her phone to prove it. "That's why I took the initiative to ask you out. You were the one who wanted to date me, and now you're trying to hurt me?" Hearing this, he laughs and continues, "But this revenge is about my past life." He begins recalling the past. "You, who were recognized as the school beauty, have always been a prominent figure at school. As an orphan who never received attention from others growing up, I never thought I'd have the chance to interact with you. I certainly never thought that on the second day after the awakening ceremony." Ren Xiaoman, concerned, asks, "Classmate Su Ming, are you not feeling well?" He continues, "From that day on, I received your concern. It was the concern I had yearned for my whole life. Confession, dating, intimate interactions, those days were the times I treasured most." Suddenly, Filled with anger in the present, he shouts, "All of that was fake. I know all about your sordid dealings with Zhang Tang. You were just trying to use my talent and abilities." Ren Xiaoman, confused and scared, responds, "Don't you dare spout nonsense." Our hero says seriously, "You know perfectly well whether I'm spouting nonsense or not. The beautiful and graceful Ren Xiaoman that everyone sees is a lie. In reality, you're just a vain, despicable, and shameless bitch." Hearing this insult, Ren Xiaoman, enraged, shouts, "You? What do you know, you orphan? If your talent wasn't worth something, you wouldn't even have the chance to speak to me. How dare you call me a bitch? Neither I nor Zhang Tang will let you get away with this." In a serious tone, our hero replies, "Bring it on. But I'm afraid you should be more worried about how the story of you two despicable lovebirds will affect that pure and innocent image you have." Ren Xiaoman. Furious, Ren Xiaoman immediately seizes her sword and attacks from behind. Observing this, our hero remarks, "Just like you did in our past life." Ren Xiaoman's sword begins glowing with a red bloodthirst aura, out of her control. Our hero continues, "You like sneak attacks? I was expecting it. The trap was set for you from the very beginning when I made you the target." Activating his blood drinker skill, our hero ensnares Ren Xiaoman. She struggles in pain, her eyes glowing red, merging with the sword's aura. The aura suddenly covers her face, and she screams, my face is disfigured." Our hero calmly says, "You brought this upon yourself. Now is the time for my revenge." Desperately, Ren Xiaoman shouts, "I'll have Zhang Tang kill you." Hearing this, our hero sheaths his sword into his inventory and says while leaving, "Go back and tell Zhang Tang he's welcome to come and settle the score with me. Consider this slash today as something cut down by me. This slash also cut away that concern I once treasured." At that moment, a message pops up on his phone notifying him of gifts. Checking it, he sees 3 gifts: Marrow Strengthening Pill, Combat Suit Gift Pack, 10,000 Advent Coins, presented by Principal Wang. The message reads, "This is a novice gift pack exclusively for you, classmate Su Ming of the 10-star talent. As a reward from the school, we hope you can make good use of it and achieve great results in the novice dungeon." The story then shifts to the next day at 6 a.m., where our hero has already received the strong marrow pill as a gift. He looks at the pill happily and eats it, and then while chewing, he begins thinking, "Strong marrow pill. That old guy, the principal, was quite generous, but I think he pities me for awakening a 10-star talent but getting the sword master profession, so he's trying to compensate me." While eating it, the pill tasted a little bad, so he didn't like the fact that its flavor was actually bad for breakfast. And the moment he swallowed the pill, a system notification appeared beside him, saying that his constitution attribute had increased by +10, experience points +100, and he had been promoted to level 2. Along with that, he had obtained 10 free attribute points. Suddenly, a yellow light fell down, and the system signaled to our hero, congratulating him that he had been upgraded to level 2. Our hero had now advanced from level 1 to level 2, and there were changes in his stats. Every panel where +10 was added had increased. Then another system notification appeared, mentioning his passive talent. Passive talent innate sword body activated. Origin is the heart, innately forming a sword. You can learn all sword type skills, ignoring restriction conditions. Looking at his stats, our hero, excited and happy, thinks, "As expected of my 10-star gold grade, I can learn a new talent at level 2. I'll show them what I'm made of in today's novice dungeon." After this, the story shifts to the Xuanjing First Academy teaching novice dungeon area, where students were slowly gathering around the formation. Our hero was also there, standing alone. However, he could already sense footsteps approaching from behind, making him slightly irritated. Then some students approached him and said, "Su Ming, can we team up with you? With the potential of your 10-star talent and the principal's novice gift package to assist, even for you, a sword master, smoothly completing this novice dungeon is very simple." Someone else added, take us with you. Our professions can also effectively support the weak points of your sword master, complementing strengths and weaknesses to increase the contribution value obtained. Hearing all this, our hero thinks, these people, weren't they looking down on my profession yesterday? So realistic. And then he tells everyone, sorry, I'm already in a team. Just as he says this, Jai Yao walks closer. Hearing him say he already has a team, she looks slightly surprised and asks, Su Ming, you already have a team? I came here early this morning precisely to be the first to team up with you, Su Ming. Hearing her words, our hero leans closer and whispers in her ear, Jai Yao, the truth is what I plan to challenge is not for common contribution rewards. If Jai Yao teams up with me, I'm worried you might get hurt. I plan to go alone to challenge. Hearing this, Jai Yao replies, oh, so that's the reason. That means you were lying earlier. Just then, a student arrives and interrupts them, saying, excuse me. He turns to our hero and asks, are you Su Ming? Student, I am Yanzi from Class 4. My awakened talent is 9-star Demon Hunter Ranger. I wonder if you, Su Ming, would be willing to join our team. Hearing this, our hero thinks, Yanzi, I remember him. In the previous life, he was an awakened like me, also 9-star. Before he can reply, Jai Yao suddenly speaks. No, Su Ming is already teamed up with me. Stop bothering him. Hearing this, the boy apologizes for the intrusion and leaves. Then Jai Yao also tells the others to leave him alone and go away. Seeing her actions, our hero looks at Jai Yao and thinks, you really are reliable. He looks toward the timer and thinks, I remember the dungeon's start time should be now. Just then, a voice echoes loudly across the area, students, the 127th Novice Dungeon Challenge has officially begun. I'm truly sorry, but your principal overslept and didn't make it to the scene to cheer you on. I can only broadcast from home and tell you the rules of the Novice Dungeon. The voice continues, the one-day Novice Dungeon Challenge is a mandatory trial for this batch of awakened newcomers. Every student has been registered, and we can identify your information simply by you entering the dungeon. In the dungeon, each challenger will earn points based on their respective challenge contributions, and rewards will be settled. To ensure survival rate, it is best for you to challenge the dungeon in teams. You only need to finish the dungeon challenge within the day to complete your first dungeon challenge in your awakened life. Students, the moment of your destiny has arrived. Are you ready? All the students listen with excitement. Jai Yao, too, is thrilled. She looks around to find our hero, but doesn't see him and asks, where is Su Ming? At that moment, the principal continues, without any delay, the dungeon is officially open. Right then, some students feel a powerful energy fluctuation from within the dungeon. Someone shouts, someone already went inside. Another says, I also saw someone entering. Someone else exclaims, was it the 10-star Su Ming? Meanwhile, our hero has already entered the dungeon, walking through its interior and thinking, the feeling of this novice dungeon is very familiar. I suddenly feel a little nostalgic. Back then, I was scared and excited, rushing around recklessly to get more contribution value. And in this life, I choose the most difficult challenge, Hidden Boss. Then a voice echoes in his ears, novice transferees of the Blue Star, the slaughter of the myriad realms is about to begin. This place is full of danger and opportunity. You will complete your challenges here to leave here and receive rewards. Besides obtaining enough contribution value and defeating the regular boss, there is another, higher difficulty method, slaying the ultimate hidden boss. In just a short while, our hero descends into the Raging Tide Forest, a level F dungeon, through the portal. After arriving inside this dungeon and looking around, he thinks to himself, the map for the novice dungeon changes every year. This place is completely different from the map when I came to this dungeon in my previous life. In addition, the spawn point inside the teleportation gate of all dungeons is random. Therefore, route planning is different for every challenger. And the monsters encountered inside the dungeon are also different. He continues walking forward and soon spots a monster. Seeing that monster, he thinks, this guy is an elite monster. Although it doesn't move like a tree, if its vines lock onto a target, they will be dragged into the burning tree hole on its head and roasted. My goal is to challenge the hidden boss. I should try to avoid these difficult monsters, the reason I rushed to be the first to enter the dungeon. After this, he checks the system panel, and while scrolling through it, he continues thinking, is to scout the route early and find the things I need to challenge the hidden boss. Although the map changes, the strategy for the boss won't. If more people come in later, it will be harder to collect the items. As soon as he finds the location area, he rushes forward at full speed, and at exactly 7:30, more students begin entering the dungeon through the portal. 3 or 4 students land together, and one of them asks, there don't seem to be any other challengers nearby. The boy beside him replies, yes, it's very quiet, so it should be safe. Suddenly, one of them says, wait, something just moved over there. Then they all see someone approaching through the cloud of dust. Someone says, look, someone is coming from over there. Out of the dust, a student comes running toward them at full speed, shouting desperately for help. As the 3 students look at him, they also see the monsters chasing him from behind. Their faces instantly turn pale with fear, and they scream, it's a giant bloodthirsty rat. Then they all begin running as well, shouting for everyone to split up. Otherwise, they would be killed. Meanwhile, outside the dungeon, the real-time report screen is updating continuously. It shows every death and every bit of progress happening inside the dungeon. It reads, 3 challengers were devoured by the bloodthirsty rat, chewed to death. As the students outside see this update, one of them says, even a 6-star challenger couldn't survive. Jai Yao, who was also standing there, looks at the screen with shock and says, I haven't even finished forming a team, and there are already fallen challengers in the dungeon. At that moment, the host shouts loudly from the stage, everyone, speed up forming teams. The people in the dungeon need more help. Meanwhile, inside the dungeon, the girl who had entered with her team is now running alone. Her condition is terrible, she is exhausted from running. Fear is written all over her face, and she thinks anxiously, I got separated from everyone. She opens her panel to check the directions, but she is so terrified that she cannot understand anything. She keeps trying to find the area she needs to reach, whispering in panic, I completely lost my sense of direction. Suddenly, she spots a huge monster in front of her. Her heart freezes in fear as an ape-type monster steps out from the bushes. Seeing it, she panics and stumbles back, saying, that's an ape monster. The monster roars and leaps toward her with full force to attack. The girl screams, somebody help me. At that very moment, a powerful sword slash cuts through the air, slicing the monster apart before it can reach her. And the one who killed the monster, stepping out before her eyes, is none other than our hero. Little by little, elite monsters had spread throughout the entire area, and they were continuously attacking the students. The students were trying to dodge and save their lives as they ran. Among them, some students screamed in fear, saying, why did we encounter elite monsters right at the start? How unlucky can we be? Many students were getting injured because different types of elite monsters had already spread across every part of the area. And the number of small monsters was huge, making things even worse for some of the students. At that moment, a student made a channel call and reported the situation to everyone. The teleport point at the 9 o'clock position on the map is surrounded by monsters, requesting more support. Every student was making similar channel calls, desperately explaining their own situations. Everyone needed help. From every direction, the same message was coming in, we are completely surrounded. Help us. Someone else cried, the monsters are coming continuously. What can we even do? Please help us too. After a while, monsters completely wiped out the students in their area, and a girl, who had been told by her teammates to hide, stepped out and witnessed the terrible scene. The bodies of her teammates lay right in front of her. She was still reporting the situation, and seeing this devastation, she said in a trembling voice, "My teammates are completely wiped out. If they hadn't told me to hide, the dungeon just started half an hour ago. The difficulty of this novice dungeon is way too high. Can newly awakened students like us really challenge and clear it alive?" After this, the story shifts to our hero, who had already killed the ape monster. Watching our hero's attack, the girl gasped and said, "So strong, he killed the monster in just one strike." Then she thanked our hero for saving her life. Hearing this, our hero laughed lightly and said, "I was just passing by. I won't be able to save you a second time. That monster isn't dead yet." Hearing that, the girl panicked a little, turned around, and ran, shouting, "I'll go get reinforcements for you. Classmate Su Ming, hold on." The girl ran away, leaving our hero standing in front of the monster. Then he used his Eye of Insight skill to check the monster's stats and health. The monster's health was still half remaining, and looking closely, he saw that the ape monster had mutated. Seeing that, our hero said, "So this is a mutated ape king." Right then, the ape monster stood up and rushed toward our hero. Its speed was so fast that our hero muttered, "Its speed isn't that bad." Then he smiled and said, "All right then, let's fight speed with speed." He decided to use the inherited skill from his previous life, his third skill, Hidden God Step. The moment he used it, his speed increased sharply. He began darting around the monster, attacking it from every direction, irritating it while teasing, "I'm behind you." Then, "Now I'm beside you." The monster was no match for his speed anymore. Our hero smirked and said, "Looks like there's no point comparing with you anymore. You've already become boring." Then he unleashed a powerful slash attack and killed the monster right there. As soon as the monster died, our hero received a notification that he had successfully defeated the ferocious beast, the mutated ape king. After killing it, he received its loot, a single slash skill scroll, a low-grade bronze skill. Looking at the skill, our hero thought, a single slash skill, although it's low-grade bronze, it's not bad for this novice dungeon. Just then, a shining light fell over him, and the words "First Blood" appeared above his head. He also received a message. A level 2 sword master player had successfully achieved the first kill of the mutated ape king, earning the First Blood title. This dungeon achievement notification appeared for everyone. Students all around checked their system panels and started talking. Someone said, "A dungeon achievement notification." Another student said, "A player actually killed a monster, and a mutated one at that." The dungeon title reward granted a 1% healing potion to all players inside the dungeon. When all the students saw this notification, they began discussing it in excitement and surprise. Someone said, "A sword master defeated a mutated monster. Could it be Su Ming?" Another agreed, "Yes, it must be Su Ming." But someone else said through a channel call, "It might not be him." This year, counting the surrounding cities, there are still quite a few sword masters. Our hero listened to these conversations through the channel and became a little annoyed with himself, muttering, "I forgot. The title system in the game will expose my strength. From now on, I'll have to be more careful. I need to use my total concealment skill to modify and hide it in advance." Then he added in disbelief, "I just didn't expect that half an hour into the dungeon. Not a single player had killed a monster yet." After that, he ran into the bushes. A short while later, while moving through the area, he reached the territory of dire wolves, level 3 monsters. Seeing them, he smiled happily and thought, "The wolf monster, one of the 3 musketeers of novice leveling. Perfect. I can try out my new sword-based attack skill." He had already used his talent skill sublimation of all things to upgrade the low-grade bronze single slash skill scroll he obtained from killing the mutated ape. As soon as he used its sublimation of all things triggered, a new skill was obtained, sword drawing slash, and then he unleashed his new skill attack on them. Seeing the wolf pack, our hero begins attacking them with his sword, and in doing so, he continuously kills many hungry wolves. He keeps striking them non-stop, endlessly cutting down these wolves so that he keeps earning experience points. By now, he had already gained more than 800 experience points. And after this, it became 8,000 experience points. Just like that, our hero keeps killing all these wolves, and during this, his level also increases. He had now reached level 9, and he had also obtained the title Legend of Starving Wolf. After killing everyone here, our hero thinks, using the ranged properties of draw sword slash, farming these low-level starving wolves becomes incredibly efficient. By drawing the blade from the scabbard, accumulating the generated energy for a precise moment, lock onto target and unleash. And once again, he starts attacking the wolf pack. The assaults continue like this, when suddenly someone comes forward and blocks our hero's attack. This was the leader of these wolves, the Wolf King. This Wolf King leader was level 10. Meanwhile, in the outside world, different teams had completed their team formations, and they all were ready to enter the dungeon. As soon as some people descend into the dungeon, they begin fighting the moment they arrive. Many people die, and many monsters also get killed. The team together manages to successfully kill a mutated field mouse, and they become extremely happy, saying, "Finally, we managed to kill a special monster." Someone else says, "We can win." Just as they are celebrating their happiness, all of them receive a dungeon announcement stating that a level 9 freshman player has killed the boss monster of Wild Tide Forest, and he has obtained the Boss of Bosses title. The moment everyone present in the dungeon sees this announcement, they are shocked and begin talking among themselves. Someone says, "How is it possible for a level 9 freshman?" Another says in disbelief, "What nonsense is this? How can a life profession be this strong?" Someone else adds, "Has he already reached level 9? After this, the story shows events from 10 minutes ago, where the wolf leader was standing before our hero. Our hero kept attacking him continuously with sword strikes, steadily draining his energy. The wolf kept running, trying to dodge our hero's attacks. While attacking, our hero shouts, "Don't think you're hot stuff just because you're a boss wolf king. Your opponent is a reincarnator." The moment our hero launches this attack on the wolf king dies right there. A notification appears for our hero, congratulating him and telling him that he has slain the silverback wolf king, earning 500 plus experience points. And right then, our hero's level increases again, taking him to level 10. The story then shifts back to the present, where a team is hunting monsters. The one leading this team says angrily, "That took every ounce of our strength, but we finally dealt with that pack of starving wolves." The person standing beside him replies, "Thank God that Katak boost scroll from the dungeon title reward arrived just in time. Without it, our team probably would have been wiped out." Hearing this, the team leader snaps in anger. "A level freshman, the dungeon must be bugged, right? How could a lifestyle class possibly hit level 9 this fast? It's like he's mocking the rest of us players." Throwing the sword he's holding and sitting down, grinding his teeth in rage, he continues, "This crappy newbie machete does absolutely no damage. If that punk hadn't scammed me out of my money at the weapon shop, I could have at least bought a silver-grade weapon by now." Hearing him, one of his teammates says, "Brother Wang Ding, that kid just got lucky." The moment he hears this, the leader becomes even more furious and shouts, "Shut your mouths, you useless trash. I was the one tanking all the damage just now, and I still had to share the exp with you lot. Killing all those wolves only got me to level 2. I really am the biggest sucker of them all. I'm so pissed. I wonder if that brat made it into the dungeon. If I run into him, I'll wipe him out. Killing him might help me blow off some steam." Hearing this, his teammate tries calming him down, saying, "Don't be angry, Brother Ding. We've all reached level 2 now. Continuing to farm wolves will be much easier." The story shifts back to our hero, where, after becoming level 10 and checking his level, he is extremely happy because he has received a notification saying that he has reached level 10 and the beginner class change quest has been triggered. Seeing this, our hero begins thinking, in this life, I can still trigger the first class change quest at level 10. The most important thing is, the opportunity is finally here. In my previous life, I didn't reach level 10 until after I had left the novice dungeon. Because of that, the randomly generated class change quest was matched to the much harder E-rank dungeon I was challenging at that time. Back then, I was completely unable to complete the challenge at my level. I had no choice but to spend a lot of time grinding to level 15 before I could go back and finish the first class change quest. This drastically reduced the rewards and benefits I received from the quest. But this life is different. I've already powered my way to level 10 right here in the novice dungeon. Immediately, another notification appears, and the quest location becomes Visible Red Rock Cave, located inside Wild Tide Forest. Looking at this location, he smiles happily and thinks, it's out. The quest content is indeed within the novice dungeon. This makes things much easier. Next, I just need to dump all the stat points I gained from leveling up into agility. With that, completing this first class change quest is practically in the bag. After this, the story shifts to Xuanjing City's first academy, where inside the office we see the principal. Several others were also sitting in the office, completely focused on the rankings and data of their school's students. In the middle of this, a girl who was looking at the data turned toward the principal and said, "Principal, the ranked list of rookie dungeon data for those with strong talents in the surrounding cities is out." Hearing her words, the principal asked, "Are some missing from the statistics? Where is Su Ming, the one I had high hopes for?" The girl replied, "None are missing, Principal. This is all the data returned from the dungeon, but at 8 o'clock, the title data for the dungeon First Blood showed it was a sword controller. It should be student Su Ming, whom you care about, Principal." Hearing this, the principal's expression tightened and he said seriously, "Only the First Blood title. Although his profession is sword controller, he was born with full 10-star attributes. Plus, I gave him a novice gift pack. Even if his skills are lacking, he should be able to kill a few monsters just on brute force. How can he not even be in the top 500? Just then, someone angrily pushed open the door and shouted from outside, "Tell me, what is this situation, Principal Wang?" It was Enranling, the vice mayor of Xuanjing City. At this moment, she was extremely angry, and in her rage she yelled at the principal, "You said your school produced a very good seedling this year. It's the 10-star awakened named Su Ming, right? My secretary already showed me your novice dungeon data. Student Su Ming, whom you recommended, isn't on the list at all." Hearing her words, the principal quickly said, "Vice Mayor and, please don't get excited. Although Su Ming has 10-star talent, but his profession is sword controller, so his early game combat power will be slightly weaker." However, the vice mayor shouted back, "Even if he's a sword controller, it's impossible for him not to even enter the top 500. Stop explaining, Principal Wang. I think you just lied to me about the student's strength to get more Heavenly Tower Council qualification tokens this year." The principal was startled hearing this. Then the vice mayor continued angrily, "From the current data, your school only has Yanzi, 9-star talent, hidden profession demon hunting ranger, currently second on the leaderboard, who has potential. He is the best candidate to compete with the neighboring city's genius Lai Chen Guang this year. There is also one I know, the Zhang family's legitimate son Zhong Tang, hidden profession magic hammer warrior, innate 8-star, currently ranked 4th, very potential. So I see that now I can only give you 2 qualification tokens for the Heavenly Tower Council." Saying this, she took out 2 tokens and handed them to the principal. Looking at the 2 tokens, the principal said, "Shouldn't every school get 3 tokens in previous years?" Then, while leaving, the vice mayor said, "Who told your academy to be at the bottom for the last 2 years? If you're at the bottom again this year, next year you won't even have any slots to join the Heavenly Tower Council." Hearing this, the principal asked nervously, "What if students achieve good results later on?" The vice mayor replied, "We'll count it then. I'm busy. I'm leaving first." With that, she walked away. The principal was left feeling tense, muttering to himself, "The Heavenly Tower Council is an important avenue for accepting tasks, obtaining rewards, and improving strength. We absolutely cannot lose the qualification to join the Heavenly Tower Council. I originally thought that with a 10-star awakened student this year, we could grasp one more token. Now we actually got one less. Su-ming, you must do your best and not let me down." After this, the story shifts back to our hero, who had already reached the outside of Red Rock Cave, following the map and moving forward while thinking. The map indicates the task is here. Fortunately, I didn't encounter any troublesome small monsters along the way. I didn't visit this place in my previous life. Who knows what monsters will spawn? Just then, a gold-digging goblin, a level 6 monster, appeared before him and glared at him angrily. Seeing it, our hero said, "So it's a goblin," and immediately rushed forward at full speed. He drew his sword and finished the goblin right there. As he ended it, he thought, "I can't let it alert the entire cave." But right at that moment, a system notification appeared. The goblin's awareness had been triggered. Goblin mode had been activated. And as soon as this notification popped up, loud screeching echoed through the entire cave. Hearing this, our hero was stunned for a moment, wondering what was happening. Suddenly, a huge number of goblins appeared in front of him. Seeing them, our hero became serious and thought, "It seems this first-class change task isn't as simple as I imagined." At this moment, an overwhelming number of goblins were standing before him. Another notification appeared. All the goblins inside Red Rock Cave would now launch a terrifying group attack on him. Then another system notification appeared for Goblin Mode, a self-indulgent lifestyle that deviates from social norms with no guilt, manifested as laziness, slovenliness, or greedy behavior. Immediately, our hero drew his sword again and began striking the goblins one after another. He launched continuous, rapid attacks, but the number of goblins was simply too high. They surrounded him from all sides. Seeing so many goblins, our hero started running, thinking, although their level isn't high, they win by sheer numbers. I don't know if my weapon durability can hold out. Just then, the largest monster among them lifted its weapon and attacked him. The moment the attack came, our hero quickly dodged and leaped away. However, the goblin archers standing below began firing arrows at him. Many of their attacks hit him. He used his sword to deflect several arrows, but many still struck his body. Barely avoiding these hits, he thought, "These guys are actually quite smart. They know it's hard for me to make evasive adjustments while in the air." After dodging attacks for so long, he grew exhausted, and the moment he slowed down, several dagger-wielding goblins rushed forward and attacked him. Their attacks hit directly, pushing him back. He steadied himself, and, now extremely serious, thought, "My mana in the early game isn't enough to support me using Divine Shadow Step for a long time. A group of goblins plus an elite goblin. For me, who is completely lacking skills in the early game, it is indeed a bit difficult to kill them head-on." At full speed again, he dashed out from between the rocks, thinking, "Then I can only be a bit more flexible." Dodging first out of respect, he slipped behind a large boulder and hid, preparing an ambush. As the goblins approached, he looked at them and, chuckling, said, "Come at me, little cuties." Our hero had been surrounded from all sides by goblins, and they were slowly enclosing the entire area. However, our hero, who was hiding behind a rock, actually wanted this. As soon as he saw the goblins gathering there, he immediately jumped out from behind the rock and attacked with his sword, saying, "Here is a gift for all of you." And then he started striking all of them continuously with his sword. Every goblin that was around him in that area, he sliced through all of them with his sword, killing them one after another. While killing them, he thought very seriously, "As long as I stand firmly on the winning high ground, I'll be able to unleash the maximum advantage of my sword draw slash." He kept attacking like this for a while and killed all the small goblins around him. Then he said, without realizing it, It looks like only you are left." And now, standing in front of him was only the chief of all those goblins. Meanwhile, outside the cave where our hero was fighting, a few students had arrived. One of those students pointed inside and said to everyone with him, "There, look, when I was scouting, I discovered the sound of fighting inside that cave." As soon as the leader student heard this, he made a face and said, "Don't joke around. The system clearly says the monsters in this area are above level 7. Who would even dare to challenge them right now?" Then the first student explained, "But I really did hear the sound of fighting coming from inside." Right then, sounds of battle echoed again from inside the cave, and dust started rising outside. When the students saw this, they were a bit shocked. The leader student said, "It looks like someone is coming out." The first student, now completely serious, said, "Who could these people be? Who dares to farm monsters here at a time like this?" While they were talking, our hero came out of the cave. As soon as they saw him, the leader student became serious and thought, "What a narrow road for enemies. It's the kid who won the sword bet against me." At that moment, our hero was focused on his system panel, thinking, "This first turn mission is actually quite interesting." But this step still had its thrills without real danger. And just then, he felt an attack coming from behind. The attack was launched by the leader of the other student group. As soon as our hero saw the attack, he dodged it instantly. Seeing this, the leader student became extremely serious and shouted, "He actually dodged it. Surround him. Don't let him escape." By now, all the students from the other team had surrounded our hero. Looking at all of them, our hero said seriously, "What? I never intended to run." Hearing this, the leader student said angrily, "That day you made me suffer a huge loss. Today, blame your bad luck for letting me catch you inside this dungeon. So what now? Scared?" Then our hero, irritated, asked, "Who are you people?" The first student said, "Looks like he has forgotten about us." The leader student, annoyed, shouted, "Damn it! You forgot the day you won 5,000 arrival coins from me. Go, all of you, attack him together." Then, along with his companions, he charged toward our hero to attack him. Seeing them coming, our hero drew his sword and said, "Even if I don't remember, there's no need to fight. But if that's how it is, let me try my new skill." And the moment he drew his sword, he rushed forward and started attacking all the students coming at him. He injured all of them, and they all screamed in pain. Then our hero used his sword control skill to pull a sword lying in the distance straight into his hand. Seeing this, the leader student was completely shocked and said, "Sword control? How is that even possible? That's a skill only sword masters at the mid-stage can learn." The sword flew through the sky, and our hero, who had already attacked the students and moved ahead, caught the sword and continued moving forward, thinking, "The sword control skill is something I got from the silver grade skill scroll dropped by the elite goblin. My talent ascension of all things upgraded it into a gold grade skill scroll, and I randomly awakened this skill from it. I didn't expect it to fit so perfectly and unlock the sword control skill. With this, the news will spread, and they will be even more convinced that I am of the Swordmaster class. More importantly, after killing all the goblins in Red Rock Cave, I obtained the blueprint for the hidden location of the final treasure chest of the first turn mission." During this time, the story shifts to another group of students who were also fighting monsters. After defeating the monster in front of them, the entire team became very excited. One of the girls in the team laughed happily and said, "We finally cleared all the small monsters in this area together. Who said an all-girls team can't survive? We really need to thank you, Fenfen, for being willing to take us along with your 7-star awakening. Come on, let's go distribute the loot." Then another girl asked her teammates, "How are you? You're not exhausted, right?" The third girl said, "Ah, no, I'm fine." At that moment, the first girl excitedly ran toward the monster they had killed and said, "Come on, let's see if anything good dropped from this monster." While the second girl was talking to her teammates, Her eyes suddenly shifted to where her other teammates were supposed to be, but she didn't see them there. Seeing the empty spot, she looked completely shocked and said, "Where did the others go?" Just then, a slow, creeping fog began spreading across the area. The girl looked around, confused and uneasy, and again said in surprise, "Where did everyone go? Why can't I see anyone?" She was completely stunned. Nothing made sense to her. She even looked down at the ground, but there was nothing there either. Fear slowly began spreading inside her as she wondered what was really happening here. And then a sudden scream of pain echoed through the area. Our hero was charging at full speed toward the second hidden dungeon. At this moment, goblin-related notifications were visible on his system screen, and he was carefully reading the complete details about goblins shown in the notification. Goblins usually inhabit dark and damp places, such as caves, underground tunnels, deep forests, or ruins. Because they fear strong light, these places make it easy for them to hide and avoid natural predators, and are also conducive to sneak attacks and plundering activities. Goblins generally live in groups, forming small tribes or clans. The group is led by a chief or elder. Below the chief are warriors, craftsmen, hunters, priests, and other roles. Each role has its specific duties, with a clear division of labor and an emphasis on group collaboration. In order to maintain the growth of the group, goblins possess a high fertility rate and rapid reproductive capabilities. Even in harsh environments, goblins will use every means possible to fight for and plunder all female creatures to maintain their birth rate. Short reproductive cycle. The gestation period for female goblins is usually only 3 months, far exceeding the reproductive efficiency of ordinary creatures. Early sexual maturity. Cubs can reach adulthood and participate in reproduction 2 to 1 years after birth, forming a rapid cycle of breed, mature, rebreed. While reading these details, our hero felt a little embarrassed. Blushing slightly, he thought to himself, "What the hell is this? Why are the goblin settings in this life so weird?" While running, as soon as he reached the area, the system notified him that he had arrived at the designated location. Our hero looked around, trying to figure out where the target was. The area was filled with thick fog, and this was the same place where 3 girls had been fighting not long ago. Our hero had now entered this area, and it was completely covered in smoke. Seeing this, he began thinking seriously, "But it's all woods here. Where is the cave? Are the coordinates wrong?" The moment he saw a rat in front of him, he used Eye of Insight on it. Laughing lightly, he said, "So that's how it is. Because it's called Red Rock Cave Part 2, it's easy for people to assume it's also a cave location. But one must combine it with the element of the buried treasure. Therefore, the location is a cave underground. They are quite smart, actually using fire to create smoke to hide the cave entrance." Then he rushed straight inside at full speed. Goblins were standing guard at the gate. Hiding behind a rock and watching them, our hero recalled his past mistakes and thought, "I've learned something new this time. Killing one of you will alert the goblins of the entire cave. I'm only here for the treasure." At that moment, his gaze fell on the bodies of girls lying inside the cave. Their clothes were no longer on their bodies, and they were already dead. After seeing this, our hero said angrily, "It's a female student challenger. Looks like she was ambushed by their smoke trap." These things are truly as disgusting as the settings say. Just as he was about to move forward, a scream suddenly echoed from deeper inside the cave. A girl was screaming in terror, "No, no, don't come near me." Hearing this voice, our hero looked in that direction and began thinking seriously. There's still a living challenger. This is perfect timing. Let her stall and draw the goblins aggro. Then I can easily go and dig up the treasure. I can only leave her to die. You can only blame yourself for challenging this novice dungeon without the strength. At that moment, the girl screamed again, "I don't want to play anymore. Someone save me. I'll give you a lot of rewards. Can anyone hear me? My sister is the vice director of the Jongin conglomerate." As soon as our hero heard this, his expression turned serious. At the same time, the goblins leapt together to attack the girl. However, at that exact moment, a flying sword shot forward and landed in front of them. It was our hero. Using sword controller, he had sent the sword flying at full speed. With the help of his sword-controlling skill, he unsheathed his sword from afar and began manipulating it remotely, swinging it toward the goblins around him. He shattered the nearby rocks, forcing the goblins back, then quickly rushed to the girl, picked her up, and ran while thinking, utilize the goblin's weakness of fearing light. The energy released by the sword-drawing slash, when drawn from the scabbard, brings with it a brilliant light. As long as I don't kill any goblins. After running some distance, the girl collapsed to the ground and said that she couldn't run anymore. Our hero looked around and thought seriously, it won't alert the other goblins in the cave. They didn't chase, just as I thought. The girl looked at our hero and thanked him for saving her life. She then introduced herself, my name is Jong Yunking. After hearing her name, our hero recalled something from the past and thought to himself that she was definitely the same girl from the photo. He then started to leave and said to her that there was no need to thank him, he was just passing by. When Jong Yunking saw him leaving, she muttered anxiously, wait until I get out of the game, I'll give you a lot of rewards. Our hero replied calmly, wait until you can survive and get out of here on your own. Panicking, the girl chased after him and begged, please don't leave me behind. Our hero said coldly, don't follow me. I've already saved you once. With your strength, you'll only drag me into trouble. Just as our hero took his next step forward, the treasure location suddenly became visible on the system. Seeing the location, he felt delighted it was right there. He immediately rushed toward the treasure area. Reaching the spot where the treasure was hidden, he began digging into the soil and asked the girl, the goblins aren't chasing us, right? The girl replied, no, I've checked. No one is following us. As he continued digging, our hero discovered a chest. Seeing it, he felt excited and thought, the random lottery chest with the highest drop rate of silver quality for this dungeon level. I'll use my talent, sublimation of all things, to upgrade the quality of this chest. The moment he picked up the chest, it began emitting a golden glow. The girl also noticed the light and was impressed, saying that it was amazing it was a low-grade gold lottery chest. As our hero held the chest, he thought, as the name implies, a lottery chest has a high probability of randomly drawing higher-level items, skill books, or equipment. Then our hero opened the chest. As soon as he pressed it, numbers appeared on the lottery chest 3 times 7. The girl stared intently at the chest, eager to see what would come out. Laughing, our hero said, let's see what kind of good stuff comes out. At that moment, an armor and a scroll appeared in front of him, and the system notification followed. Congratulations, you have obtained the Shadow Stream Set and Soul Healer Skill Scroll. Our hero becomes slightly confused as he looks at the item he received as a reward. There is no great joy on his face. With disappointment, he says, is this all I drew from the extra rewards? I worked so hard on the first-class change task just to get this. The Shadow Stream set actually looks pretty good. But what the hell is this platinum-grade Soul Healer Skill Scroll that exceeded expectations? It doesn't match my profession at all. At that moment, from behind him, Jong Yunking nervously speaks to our hero and says, I mean, could it be because I'm here? My awakened profession is 7-star Soul Healer. As soon as our hero hears her words, he makes a strange expression. Just then, a notification appears in front of him. It states that Jong Yunking has joined your team, and you are the leader of this team. After this, the story shifts to some other students, where a fierce battle is taking place. Someone is attacking the students one by one and killing them. He has already eliminated many students. After killing them all, he looks at Jai Yao, who is standing in front of him, and says, I've killed everyone who was weak. For the weak, there's only one path, death. And now, it's your turn. Seeing the opponent in front of her, Jai Yao becomes slightly nervous. There are scratch marks all over her body, with blood flowing from them. It seems she is already exhausted from fighting. After a short while, the story shifts again. A few hours later, we see Jia Yao being continuously attacked. She climbs over rocks, dodging and running desperately. She hides behind a boulder, trying to escape. The student who is attacking her searches around for Jia Yao, and the moment his eyes land on her, he raises his sword and launches an attack toward her, shouting loudly, "You think you're playing hide and seek?" Jia Yao barely manages to dodge the attack and lands on another rock. Laughing at her, the student says, "I really didn't expect that a female chick like you could withstand my hunt for so long. You wasted quite a bit of my time. I have to praise you for a girl. You really have some skill. It seems your Xuanjing Academy isn't entirely made of trash." Hearing his words, Jia Yao, filled with anger, asks, "Why? Your school uniform clearly belongs to a student from the neighboring Wying City's Duwujing Academy. Why come to our area's novice dungeon to slaughter the innocent?" Laughing, the boy replies to Jia Yao, "There's no special reason. It's just that my level 10 first class change task happened to assign me the objective, kill 50 players. With task content like this, I can't exactly go on a killing spree in my own city's dungeon area. So I had to fly my private small plane to this area's novice dungeon, killing everyone I see. If you want to blame someone, blame your academy for having the most trash students among all the cities. If you're going to squeeze someone, you pick a soft persimmon." As he finishes speaking, he charges toward Jia Yao again to attack her. Seeing him approach, Jia Yao summons her skeleton warrior. As soon as the skeleton warrior appears, it rushes forward to block the student. However, the student destroys the skeleton while shouting, "These primary skeleton toys of yours can't withstand the power of even a single slash from me. This time, I won't let you run away again." As he speaks, he continuously launches blood blade flying stab attacks. Meanwhile, Jia Yao, who is trying to escape, has already moved some distance away. However, the moment the student activates blood blade flying stab, the attacks begin rushing straight toward Jia Yao at full speed. Just then, an arrow suddenly strikes the student's hand, causing his sword to fall from his grip. Enraged, he shouts, "Who's there?" At that moment, from within the bushes, several students shout loudly toward Jia Yao, "Classmate Jia Yao, we'll cover you." The moment Jia Yao sees them, she immediately recognizes who they are and thinks to herself that these are the same classmates she met when entering the dungeon. Meanwhile, our hero is busy submitting the treasure. As soon as he submits the treasure, a system notification appears, stating that the treasure fragments have been successfully submitted. Our hero thinks to himself that with this, the task will be completed. At that exact moment, another system notification appears, stating that the primary class change task has been completed. All attributes have increased by 10%, and all of our hero's swordsmanship abilities have also increased. Seeing this, our hero thinks, "With this, I'll have more confidence in challenging this dungeon's hidden boss." Just then, Zhang Yunqing excitedly runs over to our hero. When our hero looks at her, he realizes that Zhang Yunqing has already used the Soul Healer skill scroll, and it has been used successfully. As a result, she has obtained a soul buff, a platinum high-grade skill, consumes soul power to use. When activated, the experience points gained by everyone in your team increase by 200%. When our hero checks Zhang Yunqing's stats, he is completely shocked and shouts, "What? Experience increased by 200%? To think she could randomly unlock this leveling god tier skill. Her luck is really insane, since that's the case." Pointing at Zhang Yunqing, he continues, "I've changed my mind. Earlier, you said you wanted me to carry you through the novice dungeon. Now I agree." Hearing this, Zhang Yunqing becomes extremely happy and says, "Really? That's amazing." Smiling, she walks behind our hero and says, "The hired thugs my older sister spent money to recruit for me didn't even survive the Goblin Cave. But with a player like you, someone who braved the Goblin Cave alone leading me, it will definitely be much safer." As our hero walks forward, he thinks to himself, although I don't really like rich young ladies who use money to take shortcuts. For the sake of that skill of hers, there's nothing I can do. Jai Yao was running at full speed to escape a boy from another school. However, at that very moment, Yanzi appeared and stepped forward to help her. During this time, Jai Yao sent a message to our hero, and the message reached him directly. Looking at the message, our hero was slightly surprised and moved to open it, wondering why Jai Yao was messaging him. Meanwhile, the boy from the other school was continuously attacking Jai Yao's team members and killing them one after another. In the middle of this, Yanzi attacked him as well, but that boy dodged Yanzi's attack. Seeing this, Yanzi was a little shocked, finding it hard to believe that someone could evade his attack. At the same time, that boy advanced toward Yanzi and another team member of Jai Yao, holding a massive sword in his hand. Seeing him approach, everyone became terrified. Then, without hesitation, that boy used blood blade flying stab and struck a team member on the head, killing him on the spot. Seeing their companions being wiped out around them, Yanzi and Jai Yao became slightly panicked. Jai Yao said seriously, "This guy is extremely strong." Yanzi also said, "All of my companions have already fallen." Then Jai Yao added, "To think Wujing Academy actually has such a powerful awakened." Yanzi followed up, "There aren't many with this kind of strength. I did some research before challenging the novice dungeon. An awakened with superior strength who uses a blade that genius awakened from the neighboring Wying city, Lai Chengguang. Innate 10-star talent, hidden profession blade maniac." During this time, the boy lifted his sword and started advancing toward Yanzi and Jai Yao. This boy's name was Lai Chengguang. As Lai Chengguang approached, he laughed and said, "Now only the two of you remain. Really wasted so much of my time. Progress is still only 50 out of them. 35 have already been killed by my hands." Holding a bow in his hand, Yanzi said, "As a ranged profession, I can't handle him if I can't widen the distance." Standing behind him, Jai Yao said, "My mana has bottomed out. I can't summon any more spirits for cover." Yanzi then became a little serious and asked, "Classmate Jai Yao, can we still wait for backup?" Jai Yao looked at her system panel and saw that she hadn't received any message from our hero. Seeing this, she said that there was no backup at all. At this moment, Lai Chengguang looked at the two of them and laughed, saying that it seemed they were completely scattered and helpless. As he spoke, he charged toward them at full speed, saying that he would kill the annoying archer first. Since Yanzi had been bothering him for far too long, he rushed straight toward Yanzi at full speed to attack. Just then, Jai Yao stepped in front of him and said, "You run away from here. I'll hold him back right here." However, Lai Chengguang arrived in an instant and attacked Jai Yao's weapon with his sword, injuring her as he said that she was overestimating herself too much, and that someone weak like her had no right to protect others. When he raised his sword again and moved to attack Jai Yao, at that very moment, a sword descended from the sky at extreme speed and struck Lai Chengguang's attack. From behind, Jai Yao heard her name being called, and she immediately recognized who it was. As our hero arrived at the scene, he said, "Jai Yao, you definitely have the ability to save everyone." As our hero stepped forward, he began thinking about his previous life, where Jai Yao had once saved his life. Seeing our hero advancing, Jai Yao called out to him from below, saying that Suming hadn't she told him not to come here because this place was extremely dangerous. Hearing her words, our hero continued moving forward and replied that she shouldn't always worry about others first. In this life, he would protect her. As he advanced, our hero activated his sword control skill and summoned his sword back to his side. Seeing our hero, Lai Chengguang spoke and said that it was him, the 10-star sword controller. However, our hero, filled with anger, attacked him and said that he must be the red-haired one who had harmed Jai Yao. As our hero launched his attack, Jai Yao and Yanzi, who were standing at a distance, were completely stunned by the sight. Yanzi exclaimed in shock, 10-star Suming is so awesome. If I go for ranged support, we'll have a chance of winning. At that moment, both Yanzi and Jai Yao suddenly felt healing buffs applied to their bodies. Their injuries began to disappear, and both of them were shocked, wondering who was using healing on them. When they turned around, they saw Zhang Yongqing standing there. Seeing her, they asked who she was. Zhang Yongqing replied, "I am Su Ming's teammate. My name is Zhang Yongqing. I am a soul healer." While healing both of them, Zhang Yongqing grew a little tired and sat down. Yanzi then said, "It's great to have a healer player," Zhang Yongqing responded, "but I'm not that familiar with using my healing skills yet. I need some time." Jai Yao then spoke as well, saying, "Didn't Su Ming say he wouldn't team up? How come he has a teammate now?" After that, Zhang Yongqing immediately activated her healing again and continued healing both of them. Seeing this, Yanzi said, "Sorry to trouble you, but I hope you can be quick. It's dangerous for Su Ming to deal with that guy alone." Zhang Yongqing replied that there was no need to worry, because Su Ming was extremely strong. Meanwhile, our hero was continuously attacking Lai Chengguang with his sword, forcing him back step by step. As Lai Chengguang avoided the attacks, he became serious and thought to himself, "Isn't this Su Ming just a sword controller? To think he has such movement technique." Our hero's attacks kept forcing Lai Chengguang backward, step by step. After pushing him back, our hero suddenly stopped. Seeing this, Lai Chengguang looked at him and laughed as he said, "As expected of a 10-star awakened, I have to admit, your strength has indeed exceeded my expectations. Let's see today whether it is I, Lai Chengguang, the Wying City 10-star Blade Maniac awakened, who is stronger, or you, the 10-star sword controller from the bottom-tier Xuanjing Academy." Hearing his words, our hero repeated his name in his mind and began thinking, "I've heard of him. This guy was indeed quite a figure in my previous life, but I never had the chance to know him. Unexpectedly, in this life, I met him so soon." Thinking this, our hero charged forward again at full speed and said, "Let's see whose weapon is faster, my sword or your blade." Immediately, attacks erupted from both sides. In the midst of this clash, Lai Chengguang dodged our hero's attack, retreated slightly, and unleashed Blood Blade Flying Stab toward him. Seeing the blade flying toward him, our hero said, "So shameless throwing flying knives at me like this?" Watching the knives approach, he quickly used his sword to dodge and deflect the attack. Seeing this, Lai Chengguang laughed and said that our hero had fallen into his trap. As he spoke, he launched another attack, causing his blade to begin circling around our hero. Using this technique, Lai Chengguang declared, "The blade energy drawn by my blood blade flying stab can lock the enemy in place." Then he launched a final attack, as if saying that now our hero was finished. Our hero quickly dodged that attack. However, Lai Chengguang attacked again, and once more our hero evaded it, calmly saying, "Now it's my turn." He then used his sword controller ability to summon his sword back to his hand. While calling it back, he looked at Lai Chengguang and said, "Let's see how you defend yourself without a weapon." As soon as he finished speaking, he unleashed a powerful sword slash toward Lai Chengguang. The slash struck Lai Chengguang, damaging his body. Blood began flowing from his arm. Enduring the pain, Lai Chengguang angrily raised his blade and charged toward our hero, shouting that at this moment, our hero also had no weapon. Seeing him attack from behind, our hero activated Divine Shadow Step and began dodging Lai Chengguang's assault. Seeing our hero evade again and again, Lai Chengguang quickly used Chaotic Shadow 5 blades as well. Even so, our hero continued to dodge every single attack through his Divine Shadow Step. Witnessing this, Lai Chengguang became extremely furious, realizing that our hero's movement speed had suddenly increased drastically. Just as he was thinking this, our hero approached him closely and said, "Forgive me, because my sword has returned to my side." Meanwhile, Yanzi and Jai Yao's healing had already been completed. The moment Yanzi recovered, he rushed toward our hero at full speed, shouting that he was coming and telling Su-ming to hold on. However, when he arrived and saw the scene before him, he was stunned. By the time he got there, the battle was already over. Lai Chengguang was lying on the ground, and our hero was moving forward after defeating him. As soon as Jai Yao saw our hero, she said that Su-ming was extremely strong. Yanzi also said in shock that while they were still recovering, he had already defeated such a powerful opponent. However, at that very moment, Zhang Yongqing cried out anxiously, telling them to look behind. When our hero turned around, he realized that Lai Chengguang had already come up behind him to attack. Lai Chengguang said that he had finally been given an opportunity to strike. As he said this, he attacked our hero from behind. Everyone was shocked by what they saw. Jai Yao emotionally cried out our hero's name, because Lai Chengguang had slashed our hero's back with his blade and used his strongest skill Rainforest Rapid Blade, creating a powerful red-colored aura throughout the area. After launching this attack, Lai Chengguang looked at our hero and laughed, saying, "Su-ming, welcome to my formation." Jai Yao ran toward the formation, shouting that she was coming to save Su-ming. However, Yanzi grabbed her hand and stopped her, telling her to calm down and saying, "Rushing into his blade formation now will only be throwing your life away in vain." Jai Yao then screamed for him to let her go, saying that even if it meant death, she had to go save Su-ming. At that moment, our hero's voice came from inside the formation, telling her to listen. The instant Jai Yao heard his voice, she called out his name, starting to say, "But you," before our hero interrupted her and firmly said, "Don't come closer." After trapping our hero inside his formation, Lai Chengguang launches a continuous barrage of attacks on him, striking without pause. Because of these non-stop assaults, our hero's body becomes heavily injured, his condition turning extremely serious. Even so, our hero is still alive. While continuing to attack him, Lai Chengguang, filled with rage, shouts angrily, "How is this possible? I've struck you with so many blades, so why are you still not dead?" The moment Lai Chengguang says this, a voice suddenly comes from behind him, saying, "Are you sure you actually hit me?" Hearing this voice from behind, Lai Chengguang is shocked and says in disbelief, "That voice? It's not coming from here." At the same time, the hero who had been fighting in front of Lai Chengguang begins to slowly disappear. Seeing this, Lai Chengguang becomes extremely enraged and shouts furiously, "That was only a substitute." By now, the substitute that had been fighting Lai Chengguang has completely vanished. At that moment, our hero is standing right behind him, holding a sword in his hand, and says calmly, "So you finally noticed. I'm sure no matter how much you think about it, you would never expect a mere sword controller like me to possess this level of skill." At this moment, our hero activates all 5 pieces of the Shadow Sword set, which is a low-grade platinum set. At the same time, a system notification appears, displaying Surge of Darkness. After equipping, all sword technique skills deal additional dark attribute damage. This damage can bypass physical defense. Set skill. Shadow Clone spawns a fake shadow as a defense. If an attack is made while Shadow Clone is active, it will deal an additional follow-up slash. The power of this slash is equal to 50% of your normal attack damage. Seeing the set equipped on our hero, Lai Chengguang becomes slightly nervous and says, "There are absolutely no collectible sets in the novice dungeon. There is only one way to do that. That is, you have already completed." Hearing this, our hero replies calmly, "My equipment set skill. I have long since completed the Junior Profession Change quest." As he says this, our hero points his sword directly at Lai Chengguang and prepares to attack him. Seeing the attack coming straight at him, Lai Chengguang, both nervous and furious, says angrily, "You are faster than even me." The moment he finishes speaking, our hero's sword strikes Lai Chengguang's body and continues forward while dealing damage, causing blood to spill from Lai Chengguang's body. While attacking him, our hero says coldly, "Now let me slaughter you." Our hero launches several sword attacks in succession. However, at that very moment, Lai Chengguang suddenly takes out an artifact and throws it forward. As soon as the artifact is thrown, an extremely bright light erupts. Our hero covers his eyes to protect himself from the intense light. Standing at a distance, Yanzi and Jai Yao see the artifact and are both shocked. Yanzi says in surprise, "That's a life-saving artifact." Hearing this, Jai Yao repeats in disbelief. "A life-saving artifact?" Yanzi then says, "That's right. A tool that allows a player to make an emergency exit from the dungeon when thrown at a critical moment. One of those costs several 100,000 advent coins. It's definitely not an item that can be farmed in a dungeon." During this time, Lai Chengguang has already teleported away using the artifact. As Lai Chengguang teleports out of the area, our hero says calmly, "It seems the neighboring city really spent a fortune to protect their 10-star genius. They really went all out." A few hours later, the story shifts to the principal's office. While checking the dungeon data, a girl notices some data and becomes slightly surprised, realizing that something about it is different. Behind her, the principal is eating noodles, and upon hearing this, he asks, "What's wrong? Did you retrieve the real-time level rankings of the players in the dungeon?" The girl replies, "No, the data feedback shows that multiple players died in the dungeon's 9 o'clock direction between 12 o'clock and 12:30. The principal responds, "What's strange about that? Did a few player squads run into some difficult monsters?" The girl continues, "Not exactly. Data analysis shows they were killed by player data not from this city's region." Hearing this, the principal becomes slightly surprised and says, "Player data not from this city's region? It seems the neighboring city is playing tricks again. Save all these data records properly. The novice dungeon of every city is competing to see who can clear it first." As the bottom of the barrel, our Xuanjing Academy has once again become a target for bullying in the eyes of some people. How is the student's progress in clearing the dungeon right now? Hearing this, the girl checks the data and replies, "Dungeon progress is good. Most of the teleportation zones have already been taken by the students. The limited dungeon footage we can retrieve in real time shows that some capable players have already organized large forces and started to tackle the dungeon boss stages. The one taking the lead is none other than the young master of the Zhang family, the 8-star magic hammer warrior, Zhang Tang." As soon as the principal hears this, he looks toward the display and says, "As expected, he is full of potential. I remember that a few hours ago, Zhang Tang was a level 6 contestant on the leaderboard. The regular final boss of the novice dungeon is level 12. Since he is leading a large force, I reckon he should be close to level 10 by now. I hope he can kill the boss as soon as possible and bring glory to our academy." At this moment, the boy sitting nearby looks at the data and says, "The real-time ranking data analysis is out." The principal quickly walks over to him. The boy then says, "Just as you guessed, Principal. Zhang Tang's level is already level 9, almost rising to 10. He is tied for first place on the real-time data board." The principal says, "Tied for first? The other one must be student Yanzi." The boy replies, "Yes, but the second and third places following closely behind on the leaderboard are both female students. They are the undead summoner Jai Yao, level 7. And the soul healer Zhang Yunqing, level 8. At this, the girl sitting nearby says, "Even the female students are so promising now." The principal then asks, "Have you seen student Su Ming?" The girl checks the data and replies, "I didn't see student Su Ming in the data for the top of the leaderboard." The principal says to her, "Check again for me. What level is student Su Ming at right now?" At that moment, another boy checks our hero's data and becomes slightly shocked. Seeing this, the principal asks him, "Did you find him? What level is he?" The boy replies, "He is currently level 2. Hearing this, the principal immediately falls silent. After that, the boy adds, "The data shows that after he took first blood, his level never increased again." After that, the story shifts back to the dungeon, where our hero has just defeated an elite spike-toothed beast. The moment the beast is killed, our hero's level rises to level 14. As soon as he reaches level 14, a system congratulations notification appears, and along with leveling up, he also unlocks the hidden set appearance at level 14. At this moment, other people are also with our hero. Jai Yao and Yanzi are by his side. Jai Yao's level has already reached level 8, and after checking her level, she says with excitement, "Just over 2 hours of grinding monsters, and we've already gone up several levels." Yanzi also checks his level and says confidently, "I'm already level 10. I can already go challenge the dungeon boss." The reason we could level up so fast is all thanks to Zhang Yunking's skill that buffs experience. Zhang Yunking has also reached level 9, and she says with a smile, "We should be thanking Suming for giving me such an amazing skill." At this moment, Jai Yao speaks up excitedly, "It's great. Our current squad is just too great. We have Yunking's healing that also adds experience, and Yanzi's precise long-range DPS. I can summon little cuties to provide cover for you guys. The most important thing is having such a powerful player like you, Su Ming, leading us." Hearing her words, our hero responds calmly, "Don't be polite. It's all your own strength. I'm just riding on your coattails." Jai Yao immediately replies, "Su Ming, are you being sarcastic with us? If you hadn't come to save us, Yanzi and I would definitely have died under Lai Chengguang's blade." Then, thinking back to the battle, she adds with admiration, "Su Ming was just too amazing and handsome when he fought Lai Chengguang back then. I believe that if our combination goes to challenge the dungeon boss now, we can definitely clear it easily." Listening to Jai Yao, our hero says seriously, "Jai Yao, you're right. But unfortunately, my target isn't that ordinary boss." As he speaks, he takes out a key and continues, "What I want to challenge is that even more powerful hidden boss." The key in our hero's hand is dropped by the elite spike-toothed beast he just defeated. It is the water ripple key. Holding the key, he says, "To find the novice dungeon's hidden boss, we must first solve the 3 riddles guided by the dungeon data and collect the corresponding 3 items." At this moment, the system displays the first riddle notification. When the silver moon hangs by the shore, the green waves part, and the red armor sleeps in the core of the cold abyss. At the same time, an image of a silver moon appears in the sky. Seeing this image, our hero says, "Trigger location, silver moon in the sky. There is no dungeon weather in the novice dungeon. Therefore, to find the silver moon, there is only one place in the dungeon where plants can grow into the shape of a moon. Then behind this lake surface here is exactly the location of the hidden boss." As he finishes speaking, he arrives in front of a lake. Immediately after that, the system releases the second riddle notification. Lake water turns to mist, using iris petals as a guide. Beneath the sunken sand, the armor still keeps the old covenant. After seeing this riddle, our hero explains, "From the moment I entered the dungeon, I immediately gathered the trigger item iris flower from the ape monster area, combined with the water ripple key farmed through the hint of riddle 3. At that same moment, the system releases the third riddle notification. Hold the star-patterned key to reflect on the lake bottom. 9 ripples circle the bedrock. The knight pillows his head on his sword, waiting for light to break the turbid waves." Just as written in the third riddle, our hero does exactly that. The key begins to react, and the people standing behind him watch in shock and ask how he managed to solve the riddles so quickly. Suddenly, a whirlpool begins to form in the lake. Seeing this, the team members shout in surprise, "A whirlpool started in the lake." All of a sudden, a sword slowly rises out from the whirlpool. As the sword continues to rise, a night monster holding the sword also emerges from the water, and it speaks in a deep voice, by oath as guide, by starlight as summons. The moment the hidden boss is summoned, warning notifications from the system begin appearing before our hero. This hidden boss is the guardian of the lake, a lost knight. As soon as the hidden boss is summoned, our hero immediately pulls Yanzi and Jai Yao into his team and becomes the team captain. The instant the team is formed, our hero urgently tells everyone to stay ready for battle. As soon as everyone prepares to fight, a message appears announcing the start of the hidden boss challenge. After that, the story shifts to 15 minutes later, where we see our hero and the rest of his team members hiding inside the bushes. Yanzi, filled with confusion, asks our hero whether hiding like this is really the right move. Jai Yao also asks our hero in confusion, forcing a smile as she nervously laughs and says, "Why don't we try again?" However, our hero pays no attention to what anyone is saying. His gaze is fixed on the hidden boss ahead of them, who is charging through the forest at full speed, destroying everything in its path. Pointing toward the hidden boss, our hero asks everyone to take a good look at him and says that the man is riding his horse at such terrifying speed. How are they supposed to kill him? The mount that the hidden boss is riding has a speed of 500. This hidden boss, the guardian of the Lake Lost Knight, is level 19. His strength is 301, constitution is 250, agility and spirit are 102, his luck is 10, and his mount's speed is 500. The armor he is wearing is heavy armor mastery, level 5. After seeing all of the hidden boss's stats, everyone becomes slightly shocked and nervous. Seeing this, our hero speaks in a heavy tone. Speed, 500 points. Even if we add up the speed points of all four of us, it doesn't even reach half of his stats. At that moment, screams begin echoing from within the forest. People are running away after seeing the hidden boss, shouting in fear. Someone yells, asking what kind of monster this is, while someone else screams in panic, wondering how a level 19 hidden boss could suddenly appear in this area without any warning. The hidden boss mercilessly slaughters everyone who crosses his path, and the forest fills with nothing but screams and agonized cries. From a distance, our hero's team watches this horrifying scene unfold. Yanzi, terrified and shocked, asks how the third wave of nearby players has already been wiped out by this hidden boss. Standing beside him, Zhang Yunqing speaks fearfully and says that they were the ones who summoned this hidden boss, and now they must hurry. At that very moment, Jai Yao comes running from behind, calling out our hero's name as she shouts, "Su Ming, as per your instructions. We used up all the mana potions of everyone in the squad. We've set up that delayed trap." As soon as our hero hears Jai Yao's report, he first thanks her sincerely for her hard work, then shouts loudly, "Yanzi, Yunqing, follow the planned actions." Everyone responds in agreement and quickly disperses to their assigned positions. As our hero moves forward, he thinks to himself, "In my previous life, I never challenged the hidden boss of the novice dungeon." Most awakened wouldn't risk choosing to summon a hidden boss in the novice dungeon shortly after awakening. Furthermore, the novice dungeon can only be challenged once in a lifetime. Because of that, not many people know the true face of the hidden boss in the novice dungeon. Only vague clues could be found in some records, and I memorized them. But I didn't expect the hidden boss to actually be equipped with a mount possessing speed, 500, to kill him. We must knock him off his horse. Everyone has already reached their positions. Yanzi uses his multiple hunting shots skill and releases a volley of arrows toward the hidden boss. Countless arrows fly toward him, but the hidden boss draws his sword and begins dodging them. The few arrows he fails to dodge strike his armor, but because his armor is heavy armor level 5, they deal no damage at all. Watching this, Yanzi thinks, "This boss has heavy armor mastery level 5. My archery skills can't deal much damage to him at all." At that moment, a system message appears before everyone, stating that the guardian of the Blood Lake has relocked onto the aggro target. As soon as everyone reads the message, they slightly adjust their positions. From the peak of a mountain, Yanzi shouts toward Zhang Yunqing, "Yunqing, I've pulled back the boss's aggro." Hearing this, Zhang Yunqing immediately responds that she understands and activates her skill. Meanwhile, as our hero moves into his own position, he smiles faintly and thinks, Step 1. Yanzi draws the boss back using precise long-range skills. Step 2. Yunqing creates smoke in the area the boss must pass through to confuse his vision. This trick was learned from that goblin cave. According to the plan, thick smoke has already spread throughout the area, causing the hidden boss to lose sight of his enemies. He swings his weapon and searches around, trying to locate them. At that very moment, skeletons tear through the ground and grab onto the boss's horse. Jia Yao uses her summoning skill to release the trap, forcing the hidden boss to struggle desperately to protect himself. While activating the trap, Jia Yao thinks to herself, if Su Ming hadn't told me, I would never have known that the basic summoning skill could be combined into delayed trap magic by summoning a large number of monsters. After that, arrows begin raining down on the hidden boss from afar, and at the same time, Zhang Yunqing activates her soul siphon delaying magic. The hidden boss is now completely surrounded from all sides. Watching this, our hero advances toward him, his eyes burning with determination as he thinks. Third step. Restrict the movement of the boss's horse using the skeleton trap Jia Yao set up in advance, combined with Yunqing's slow magic to lock down his movement at the same time. I have to admit, if not for their cooperation, I might not actually be able to solo you. Our hero comes from behind and directly catches the lost knight. Spinning him around, he lifts him off his horse and hurls him down to the ground, shouting angrily, "Get off the horse! You've been a nuisance for far too long." The lost knight crashes to the ground at tremendous speed. The moment he lands, he quickly gets back on his feet and stares straight at our hero. At the same time, far away, our hero's teammates are hiding inside the bushes. The instant they see that the lost knight has been separated from his horse, they prepare to make their next move. Yunqing quickly says excitedly, "We did it! We knocked the boss off his horse." Standing beside her, Jia Yao immediately warns, "Don't let your guard down yet. This is only the first phase." All of this is happening exactly according to the plan. The plan had been made 10 minutes earlier, when our hero was explaining everything to them. After listening to the plan, Jia Yao asked him with concern, "Su Ming, this plan of yours is great, but this way, Yunqing and I will run out of mana. Even if we succeed in knocking him off the horse, we won't be able to deal damage to the boss afterwards." At that time, our hero looked at her seriously and replied, "It doesn't matter. That's enough." Then, smiling confidently, he added, "When that time comes, just leave it to me." The story then shifts back to the present. Our hero pulls his sword out of his inventory, takes an attack stance, and charges forward at full speed, declaring firmly, "Let me finish this monster alone." As he finishes speaking, he launches himself toward the lost knight and attacks. The lost knight also strikes back. Their attacks collide head-on, and soon the two of them begin exchanging continuous sword strikes. The impact of their battle spreads across the entire area, and even our hero's teammates standing far away can clearly feel the force of the fight. Watching the battle, Yanzi steps forward and says anxiously, "It's too intense. Su Ming is actually able to go toe-to-toe with this hidden boss all by himself. I can't just be a spectator. I can still use skills. I must go help." However, Jia Yao immediately stops him. Smiling, she says, "Wait, classmate Yanzi." Su Ming said to leave it to him. "We have to trust him. We have our own mission." Meanwhile, our hero uses his divine shadow step skill against the lost knight, attacking him repeatedly from different directions. He continuously deals damage to the lost knight. However, the lost knight also charges forward at high speed, attempting to counterattack. Our hero focuses his gaze, blocks the attack, and says coldly, "Too slow. I didn't expect that after leaving your horse, you guy." At that moment, he checks the lost knight's stats. Everything looks the same as before, except for one thing: the speed. While mounted, the speed was 500, but now it has dropped to 55. Seeing this, he continues, "Your actual speed would be this low." As soon as he finishes speaking, he slashes his sword across the lost knight's chest and says sternly, "A hidden boss is nothing special after all." Immediately afterward, he unleashes another powerful attack, declaring fiercely, "Now die." However, because the lost knight is wearing heavy armor, he manages to survive. Even so, the HP of his heavy armor has already dropped significantly. While our hero continues attacking, a system notification appears before him. His weapon durability is down to 7% remaining. Seeing this, our hero becomes serious and thinks to himself, "My sword's durability isn't enough. The damage is greatly discounted. This guy's heavy armor attribute is actually a hassle." At that moment, the lost knight faints and suddenly moves forward, heading toward the area where he had fallen from his horse. He starts searching for his mount, but there is nothing there. Our hero follows closely, approaches him, and says with a mocking laugh, "Are you trying to find your horse? You're actually pretty smart. You know that the speed while mounted is your winning advantage, but it's a pity. Your horse has already been led away by them." At the same time, the lost knight's horse has already been captured by our hero's teammates and taken far away from the battlefield. Jai Yao, while restraining the horse, shouts, "Stop struggling. We won't let you run." Yanzi also calls out, "Yunking, keep using your magic to slow down his struggling speed." Hearing this, Jai Yao smiles and says confidently, "Our mission to restrain this horse is very important. This is what Su Ming entrusted." She then recalls the moment when our hero explained the plan to them. At that time, he told everyone, "Remember, if the plan to knock the boss off the horse succeeds, leave the boss to me. You guys have a crucial mission." Back then, Jai Yao asked curiously, "A crucial mission?" Smiling, our hero replied, "Restrain the boss's horse, don't let him mount up again." Lost in his own thoughts, our hero launches continuous slash-type attacks with his sword at the lost knight from a distance. Every single attack flies straight and collides directly with the lost knight. While attacking, our hero moves slightly forward and lands ahead. During those attacks, the lost knight raises his sword and uses the skill Howling Water Blade Gather. Powerful sword attacks surge toward our hero. Seeing this, our hero dodges and says mockingly, "So you really do know how to use some skills." Even while speaking, he keeps dodging the attacks. At that moment, the lost knight charges toward our hero, lifting his sword and preparing to strike. Seeing the incoming attack, our hero uses the sword control skill and starts dealing damage by controlling the sword. The sword moves around wildly, delivering continuous hits to the lost knight from all directions. While attacking like this, our hero receives a system notification: your weapon durability is now at 3% remaining. Even after reading the notification, our hero does not stop. He continues attacking and pushes the lost knight slightly backward. At the same time, he starts checking the durability of the lost knight's heavy armor. Thinking seriously, he says to himself, "Can't waste any more weapon durability. His heavy armor is about to break." Even while thinking this, he keeps controlling the sword and attacking from all sides. Quickly, he recalls the sword back to himself. Gripping it firmly, he rushes toward the lost knight and launches another attack. Seeing the attack coming, the lost knight raises his sword, dodges, breaks through our hero's guard, and thrusts his blade straight into our hero's chest. The moment the attack lands, the hero and the lost knight's hands slowly begins to disappear. From behind, a voice echoes, "This move really works just as well against both players and monsters." The clone in the lost knight's grasp slowly gets erased. At the same time, our real hero steps forward, activates his full body set, and gets ready to attack. With satisfaction, he says, "I really like this set." As soon as he speaks, he uses the sword control skill again. The sword that was with the clone starts attacking the lost knight from all sides. The lost knight desperately tries to dodge the sword. In that instant, our hero appears behind him and strikes his armor, declaring, "The heavy armor is broken." At the same moment, our hero receives another system notification: his weapon durability has been depleted. With that attack, the weapon's durability completely runs out. However, without hesitation, our hero activates Shadow Blade and attacks again, saying coldly, "Now this is over." After that, the story shifts to Xuanjing Academy, where we see Teacher Wang entering the communication room. The moment he arrives, someone says, "Principal Wang has finally arrived." As Principal Wang reaches the communication room and sees all the academy principals chatting, he speaks seriously. Looks like all the principals have been in the communications room chatting for a while. From the communication channel, another voice replies, "We all just got here not long ago. You're simply the last to arrive, Principal Wang." Then the second principal's voice joins in, saying, "What's wrong? Is it because no students at your Xuanjing Academy's beginner dungeon have challenged the boss yet?" As usual every year, clearance results start coming in after 3 p.m. A third person's voice follows immediately, mocking him. "But Principal Wang, your Xuanjing Academy is always dead last anyway, so it doesn't matter if you take your sweet time showing up to report." Listening to all of them, Principal Wang responds seriously, "I'm not late because of the dungeon. I received some real-time feedback data from inside the dungeon." He continues after checking the data. "Players from outside our school snuck into our Xuanjing Academy's beginner dungeon. We haven't identified the outside player yet." Then he looks up and asks sharply, "But I'm sure it must be students from one of your 3 other city academies causing trouble, right? Old Zai, could it be you?" He adds coldly, "The victim data shows they were killed by someone using blade skills. I heard your Wang Academy's genius student, Lai Chengguang, is a master with blade weapons." The moment Lai Chengguang's name is mentioned, his academy's principal explodes in anger and shouts, "You don't make accusations without evidence." He continues forcefully, "Our academy's Lai Chengguang is currently a key attacking force challenging the final boss in our beginner dungeon. I'd say we'll clear it in less than half an hour." After that, the other principals also start reporting their academy's dungeon progress. One of them says, "Our Dongling Academy already has 3 groups of students who've leveled up enough and are challenging the boss." Another principal adds confidently, "Our Nangang Academy has already pushed the boss into its 2nd phase. As long as we perform normally, clearance news will come soon." Principal Wang listens to all of this in complete seriousness, thinking, "Looks like the other academies are progressing smoothly with the boss. Every second counts right now." He takes out a token from his pocket, his expression turning heavy as he thinks, "If our academy doesn't achieve first clear this year, then we'll only have 2 ticket tokens to the Tower Society, the lowest number in history." His gaze sharpens as he continues thinking. Currently, the player closest to clearing the boss is Zhang Tang. Everything depends on his strength now. The story then shifts back to the dungeon, where we see students of Xuanjing Academy fighting monsters alongside Zhang Tang. They are all attacking fiercely. Zhang Tang shouts loudly, "Everyone, move forward together. Don't hold back, use all your skills to kill the final boss." The monster they are fighting is the King of the Raging Forest, a level 15 monster. It is slaughtering every student that comes near it and continuously spreading destruction. While fighting this monster, some students begin to retreat and scream in fear. "We're no match at all. Our level isn't high enough to successfully challenge it." Staring straight at the monster, Zhang Tang clenches his teeth and declares, "No, we can't retreat. We've already come this far." With burning determination, he shouts again, "The beginner dungeon clear reward must be mine." Standing in front of the monster, Zhang Tang was lost in thought, remembering the messages that had arrived on his phone earlier. The messages were from Xiaoman, who had texted him asking for help. In those messages, Zhang Tang asked Xiaoman what had happened. "Is it about Su Ming?" Xiaoman replied that Su Ming had hurt her. In the same conversation, Zhang Tang also asked her where she was, telling her that he was coming to meet her. Then came Xiaoman's final message, in which she spoke about revenge. She asked him to help her take revenge. Thinking about those messages, Zhang Tang, filled with anger, advanced toward the monster and shouted, "Take the final reward. Avenge Xiaoman." However, just before he could lift his weapon and attack the monster suddenly began to disappear. Zhang Tang couldn't understand what was happening. At that very moment, All the players inside the dungeon received a system notification. Everyone looked at the notification, and the moment they read it, they were completely stunned. The notification stated that the hidden boss had been defeated. Congratulations, squad players, you have slain the hidden boss. Congratulations, all players. Prepare to return home in triumph. After this, the story shifts to our hero, who had already defeated the hidden boss, confirming that it was finally over. At the same time, we also see one of our hero's team members, Jai Yao, looking at the system notification and saying with certainty, "This must be Su Ming." He successfully soloed it. As soon as the hidden boss was defeated, the outside world also received the news. The dungeon portal began to glow. In the communication room, where Principal Wang was present along with the principals of the 3 academies, they also saw the notification and began speaking. One principal said, "Did Lai Chengguang succeed?" Another principal replied, "It must be us at Dongling Academy." Then the third principal spoke as well. "No, it must be us at Nangang Academy." Wang turned around to look at the results. The moment he saw his academy's name displayed on the notification screen, his eyes widened in shock. The students of Xuanjing Academy were also stunned when they saw their academy's name appear. They immediately began talking among themselves. One of them exclaimed, "That's too exaggerated. A hidden boss. There's a hidden boss in the novice dungeon too?" Another said, "Which people from our Xuanjing Academy formed a team so awesome that they killed the hidden boss?" Someone else asked, "Isn't the main force with Zhang Tang and his group?" Another voice followed, "They really are a group of great gods. The awakened students of our batch are so awesome." Back at our hero's location, Jai Yao ran toward him and said excitedly, "Su Ming, you're amazing." At this moment, our hero's level had reached 16, and he had suddenly increased by 2 levels. As soon as he reached level 16, the system sent him a notification, congratulating him and informing him that he had reached level 16. Our hero's team members ran toward him, and as he looked at them, he said, "Come quickly. While the dungeon's exit portal hasn't opened yet, let's distribute the rewards for killing the hidden boss." Hearing this, Yanzi spoke up. "I say, I don't want the rewards. I'm satisfied just by leveling up." Yongking also said, "Me too. Thank you, Su Ming, for saving my life." After hearing them, Jai Yao looked at both of them. Then Yanzi continued, "From saving us from Lai Chengguang's blade, to unlocking the secret of the hidden boss, and finally soloing the boss, I really didn't have enough strength to help with anything. So sharing the loot makes me feel really guilty." While Yanzi was still speaking, a reward notification appeared for him. Captain Allocation. Teammate Yanzi receives Loot Spirit Suppressing Rot Siphon Bow. Level Requirement, 20 Profession Requirement, Ranger Profession, Proficient in Bows Affix. Spirit Suppression consumes spirit to cause all arrows fired from this bow to generate a random enchantment effect. Immediately after that, Yongking also received a reward notification. Captain Allocation. Teammate Zhang Yongking receives Loot. Heart Soul Necklace. Effect can increase soul power storage limit as well as absorption efficiency. Exclusive to Soul Healer Profession. Then Jai Yao also received a reward notification. Captain Allocation. Teammate Jai Yao receives Loot. Blood Armor Undead Summoning Scroll. Effect, after learning this skill, can summon the hidden boss Blood Armored Undead Knight. The summoned creature's attribute levels depend on the player's attribute levels. Looking at all of this, our hero smiled and said, "As you can see, the loot dropped by this hidden boss is all linked to your respective exclusive profession rewards. That means it's not just me who acknowledges you as part of the team that successfully killed the hidden boss. The novice dungeon also acknowledges you. If not for your help, this challenge would never have been completed." Then a voice echoed throughout the dungeon, congratulating all challengers for clearing the F-rank dungeon, Raging Tide Forest, and announcing, "Dungeon time elapsed, 8 hours and 20 minutes. Hearing the voice, our hero said to his team members, "Time is up. We are leaving the dungeon." At this moment, the portal had already opened behind them. As our hero moved toward the portal, he said, "Every time a dungeon is cleared, it enters the settlement phase. The contribution rewards for every player challenging the dungeon will be settled into the real world after leaving the dungeon. A representative exit portal will appear next to every living player." Then he concluded with a smile, "Good job, we are all still alive." The challenge was successful. After that, the story moves to 4:30 in the evening, where students were coming out of the portal one after another. Officials were confirming for every player whether they had successfully exited the dungeon. Many people came out crying. Some were severely injured, while others were crying uncontrollably after losing their relatives and friends during this dungeon challenge. A crying student said through tears, "Our class 5 students, only about 10 came back." All of this was also being witnessed by our hero's team. Yanzi said in a heavy voice, "I'm the only one alive out of the teammates who entered the dungeon together." Jai Yao also spoke up, saying that the same thing had happened to her. Yunking nodded and said, "Yes, the same thing happened to me too." Hearing their words, our hero became extremely serious and said, "Since the day of awakening arrived, this world has become like this. A world dominated by the awakened. Survival of the fittest. Winner takes all. Only through constant challenges to become stronger can one establish oneself under the rules of this world. Some people are sad because they lost comrades, relatives, and lovers. There are also people who are incomparably happy because they obtained power and monetary rewards. This absurd and crazy world." At that moment, the principal appeared live on the screen and congratulated all the students, saying, "Congratulations to all students for successfully challenging the novice dungeon alive. To you, this is the first challenge after your awakening as you step into this world of the awakened and as graduates. This is the final lesson the Academy gives you. Please remember, students, awaken does not only represent power, money, and honor. It also represents responsibility, love, and peace. Those of you who lost close ones, remember this sadness and pain. Those who obtained victory, also remember this responsibility and pursuit." Everyone listened silently to these words. Jai Yao then looked at our hero and asked, "Su Ming, what about you? So many students lost their lives in this world of rules. Are you sad or happy?" Hearing this, our hero spoke in a very low voice, "Those students will be resurrected." At the same moment, the principal spoke again, "Hope you find your respective values on the path of the awakened. To complete this lesson well, that is the meaning of the novice dungeon. The classmates, relatives, and lovers you lost will all be resurrected in 30 minutes." As soon as everyone heard this, they were completely shocked, wondering if this was truly real. The principal continued, "They will return to your side from the dungeon." Jai Yao looked at our hero, stunned, and thought to herself, "Su Ming, how do you know all of that?" The principal was in his office, reviewing the performance of all the students. The dungeon statistics had already been completed, and the settlement phase had entered the reward entry stage. On the screen, the names of several students appeared. One student named Lai Guangren was shown, with the number of monsters killed clearly visible. Along with that, another student named Song Quan appeared, and the number of monsters she had defeated in the dungeon was also visible. Based on their performance, all of them were receiving rewards. In this way, many students' names slowly became visible one after another, and they were receiving advent coins as rewards. Amid all this, our hero's name also appeared, showing how many monsters he had killed. It was clearly displayed that Su Ming had slayed the gray-backed wild wolf, slayed the mutated ape, slayed the minor goblin, slayed the elite goblin, slayed the spike-toothed beast, and slayed the elite spike-toothed beast. Along with slaying all these monsters, our hero had also defeated the hidden boss, and at the same time, he had completed his junior profession change quest. Moreover, without taking any damage, he had also cleared the Red Rock Cave traversal area. Because of this, he possessed the titles Dungeon First Kill and Perfect Challenge, so his final evaluation was S rank. Combining everything together, His title became Rookie King. Its effect provided plus 15 to attributes, and all skill proficiency was increased by 10%. Additionally, our hero's dungeon contribution was 91%. At that moment, someone entered through the door. Without even looking up, the principal said, "You're late." It was our hero. The principal continued speaking. Novice Dungeon School-wide and City-wide ranking number 1. Student Su Ming. Our hero replied, "I overslept today." At the same time, the player level ranking list appeared on the screen. First place was our hero, level 16. Second place was shared by 2 students, Zhang Xuan and Yan Zi, both standing at level 12. Third place, Zhang Yongqing, level 11. Fourth place, Jai Yao, level 10. Fifth place, Lai Kainglong, level 8. Sixth place, Sun Zioying, level 7. After seeing this, our hero said, "Since the novice dungeon has ended, that means my school life is over." Then he began thinking, there's no need to keep a low profile anymore, and it's fine not to modify my information. After all, in the future, the gap between me and those classmates will be thousands of miles wide. However, at that moment, he looked downward and saw that the principal had grabbed his leg. Seeing this, our hero asked, "How long are you going to keep holding on to me?" The principal, extremely emotional and happy, said, "Thank you, Su Ming." Then, in a slightly emotional voice, he continued, "Although I don't know what method you used, you finally helped our Xuanjing Academy, which has been at the bottom for years, vent its frustration." He became excited and said, "Do you know that after the clearance information came out, old Zai from Wying Academy couldn't even speak? In the past, every time there was an inter-school meeting, he loved to badmouth me. Let's see if he dares to talk nonsense in the future. Our academy is now first among the nearby 4 cities. Su Ming, you are number 1 in all academy novice dungeons." Hearing this, our hero asked, "Then what is the ranking of that Lai Chenguang from Wying Academy?" The principal began explaining. That highly regarded genius blade maniac Lai Chenguang only got 3rd place in the ranking of all academies. I heard it was because he was seriously injured by an accident in the middle, which delayed the time to kill the boss later. By the way, Su Ming, how did you manage to kill the hidden boss? Even if you have a 10-star talent, after all, you are just a sword controller, a profession that is weak in the early stages. Based on my understanding of you, you are neither from a dignitary family background, nor should you have enough money to buy god-tier equipment. Yet you actually killed a hidden boss above your level. I have been a principal for so many years and have never seen a student as powerful as you. It couldn't be because of the items I rewarded you with after your awakening, right? Those things are only enough to increase a little combat power." Hearing the principal's words, our hero said, "It was luck. Because I had good luck and obtained many useful skills and items." When the principal heard the word luck, he said, Does the novice dungeon really have so many powerful items and treasures?" Then our hero said, "Of course, I also met a group of good teammates. Without their help, I couldn't have killed that hidden boss." At the same time, he thought to himself, "I can't possibly tell him that I returned via rebirth." The principal laughed and said, "Is that so? It seems, Su Ming, you are not just an outstanding awakened, but also a powerful leader. By the way, other classmates came early today to collect the rewards for the top 5 this time. Student Jai Yao kept praising you, saying that she personally witnessed your power by teaming up with you." Our hero took a small step forward and, thinking about Jai Yao, whispered to himself, "Jai Yao sent me a message this morning asking me to come together. I just refused." Then he thought, "I knew that girl would praise me, making me embarrassed. She always liked praising others like this." At that moment, the principal tossed a token toward our hero and said, "Su Ming, catch it." Our hero quickly turned around and caught the token, saying in surprise, "This is the token of the Sky Tower Assembly." The principal laughed and said, "Thanks to your performance in taking first place, even the vice mayor, who originally looked down on our Xuanjing Academy, had to allocate more tokens from other academies to us." This year, our academy obtained 5 token quotas. They were given to you, classmate Jai Yao, classmate Yan Zi, classmate Zhang Yongqing, and classmate Zhang Xuan. It's also time to explain to you the importance of the Sky Tower Assembly token. After hearing this, our hero said, "There's no need to explain. I understand very clearly." As he spoke, he thought to himself, the Sky Tower Assembly is a place that many newly awakened students dream of. Generally, after awakened students finish challenging the novice dungeon, it is equivalent to graduating from the academy and officially stepping into the world of the awakened. Therefore, most people can only accept training from junior dungeons in the future, challenging upwards slowly, step by step, steady and sure. But the risk of improvement is high, and the speed is slow. However, having the Sky Tower Assembly qualification is different. Those holding the Sky Tower Assembly token have an additional faster training channel. Although the challenges inside are varied, the improvement rewards obtained are abundant and fast. In my previous life, because I didn't obtain the qualification for the Sky Tower Assembly early on, it prevented me from widening the gap with most players at the beginning. The resources obtained were not enough after being divided equally. But this life is different. I want to seize all opportunities and prepare for the future. At that moment, the principal extended his hand toward our hero and said, "Congratulations. You have officially awakened and graduated from Xuanjing Academy. The future challenges will no longer be like the novice dungeon, where you can start over if you fail. The challenges you face in the future will only offer one chance. They are gambles with your own life. I hope you, this hidden genius expert, can achieve a great future and contribute to this world." Hearing the principal's words, our hero smiled, shook hands with the principal, and said, "Thank you." After that, the story shifted to the Xuanjing City Wealthy District. There, we see Yongqing. As she opened the door to the room, her father rushed in while calling Yongqing's name, quickly hugged her, and said emotionally, "You returned safely from the novice dungeon, and you even got 3rd place in the academy. It seems the helpers Xiaolan found were very capable." Beside him sat Yongqing's elder sister, who smiled and said, "It's a pity. The credit this time isn't mine. It was an awakened student named Su Ming who gave Yongqing a hand." Yongqing smiled and said, "Yes, father. The helper's sister invited fell into a monster's trap due to some accidents. I almost failed in the dungeon too. Fortunately, classmate Su Ming appeared and saved me. He not only saved me, but also gave me very good skill books and equipment. He took me leveling and cleared the dungeon. He is a very powerful challenger." Her elder sister said that Su Ming I looked for him at the beginning to carry Yongqing. There were some conflicts at the time, and he wasn't willing even for a high price. I didn't expect the two of you to be fated to meet in the dungeon anyway. This time, we really need to thank him." Their father rubbed his forehead and said, "You two seem to agree very much about this classmate. It seems we need to find a time to properly thank him." Then, becoming excited, her father said, "Plus, as you say, such a powerful awakened. Father also wants to meet him. Xiaolan, check the other party's contact information for me. To celebrate Yongqing successfully completing the dungeon, I've decided to hire the best famous chef to cook for us tonight." While he was still speaking, his phone suddenly started ringing. Picking up the phone, he laughed and said, "Hello? I'm very busy right now. Is it an urgent meeting or not? Cancel them all for me." At that moment, a voice came from the other end of the phone. Hearing it, his expression changed and he said, "What are you saying? Say it properly again." Then, the voice from the other side spoke, "Chairman, in the past 2 days, we discovered that someone sent assassins to murder many of our people." Hearing this, he immediately asked, "Do you know who is behind this?" The voice from the phone replied, "It's the Zhang family." After that, the story shifts to 2 days later. At that time, our hero receives a call from Jai Yao, and she says to him, "Su Ming is scheduled to set off for the Sky Tower realm together today. This time, you can't go and act alone again." Hearing her words, our hero replies, "I know. In the past 2 days, I've prepared everything that needed to be prepared. I'll go over and meet up with you later. Jai Yao responds, "All right, we'll wait for you." After that, our hero hangs up the call and begins recalling the principal's words, where the principal had told him about summoning the teleportation portal. Su Ming, if you want to go to the Sky Tower Assembly, you just need to use your token. Simply summon the teleportation portal to the destination. This teleportation portal can only be entered by those who have obtained the qualification for the Sky Tower Assembly. Thinking about this, our hero quickly takes out the token and holds it forward. As soon as the token is activated, a portal opens right in front of him. At the same time, a notification appears stating that the qualified person has been identified. Seeing the portal, our hero becomes excited. As he steps into it, he says, "A new challenge, Sky Tower Assembly, I'm coming." After that, the story directly shifts to the Sky Tower. Our hero emerges from inside the portal and looks at the tower in front of him, saying, "This is it, the 100-layer tower, the territory of the Sky Tower Assembly." Looking at the tower, he smiles and thinks to himself, "In my previous life, I only had the chance to come here very late, by coincidence. It seems many challengers from all over the country who obtain tokens are being teleported here one after another, just to be able to challenge this place again. I'm starting to get excited." To enter the tower, he quickly takes out his token and proceeds with verification. A system notification appears, stating that identification is successful and that the person has been identified as Su Ming. The door then opens. Seeing the scene inside, our hero is slightly stunned. However, at that moment, he receives a notification saying, "Please wait for the ceremony to start in the first floor hall. New challengers, please wait." Our hero continues walking forward while observing the surroundings, thinking, "Why is the hall here different from my previous life? In this life, it's bigger." Just then, someone calls out, "Su Ming, you finally arrived." Seeing Jai Yao, Yanzi, and Yunking, our hero says, "It's Jai Yao and Yanzi and Yunking. You guys came really early." Jai Yao angrily responds, "Early my ass. We've been here for a long time. Why do you never like to act together, Su Ming?" Our hero replies, "Didn't I come today according to the text message agreement? I say, did you guys agree to meet together? So you've already become friends." Jai Yao says, "Of course. We've been waiting for you for a long time. Of course, having gone through the tribulations of the novice dungeon, we are all good friends and good comrades in arms. Don't you think so, Yunking?" Jai Yao then continues, "Plus, from Xuanjing Academy, only we obtained the qualifications to come to the Sky Tower Assembly. Who knows what will happen afterward? It's always better to look out for each other when acting together." While they are talking, a voice comes from behind, "Have you all completely forgotten about me?" At the same time, Zhang Tang rushes forward to attack our hero and says, "Especially have you forgotten me, Su Ming." As he says this, he throws a punch at our hero. However, our hero dodges the attack. Everyone standing in the assembly immediately turns their attention toward the two of them. Someone shouts, "Look, someone is fighting." Another person says, "Who dares to fight here?" At that moment, Jai Yao hurriedly asks, "Classmate Zhang Ying, what is wrong with you?" Zhang Tang summons his sword and says, "About hurting Xiaoman. I'm going to settle the score with you today. You hid well during the novice dungeon, keeping me from finding you." The people standing behind begin murmuring among themselves. "He's drawing a weapon. Is he really going to fight?" Jai Yao, feeling confused, asks about Xiaoman, "What's going on?" However, Zhang Tang ignores her and says, "I didn't expect you to also get the qualification for the Sky Tower Assembly. That's perfect. I'll finish you right here today." At that moment, our hero laughs and says, "Relax, Zhang Tang. Those messy matters between you and Ren Xiaoman." Suddenly, a voice echoes throughout the assembly, warning that a conflict has been detected. Our hero immediately speaks up. This place is not somewhere meaningless fights are allowed. At that instant, a powerful bolt of lightning strikes down from the tower onto Zhang Tang. shocking him severely. Another notification comes from the tower. Any behavior that disrupts the order of the Sky Tower assembly is not allowed. Falling to the ground, Jiang Tang looks at our hero and says, "Su Ming, don't think about escaping, just you wait." Hearing this, our hero laughs and says, "Someone above is watching, you know. Jiang Tang, after this Sky Tower assembly is over, we'll settle the score properly." The people present begin dispersing, and someone says, "So although it looks like no one is receiving us here, we are actually being observed." Another person says, "As expected, this Sky Tower assembly is not simple." Among them, a red-haired boy glares at them and then starts walking forward. At this moment, our hero tells all his teammates to head upward with him and says, "Come with me." Jai Yao asks him, "Why go up now, Su Ming? The ceremony hasn't started yet. Shouldn't we wait for the ceremony to begin and then read the guide for challenging the Sky Tower assembly?" On the other side, where Jiang Tang had fallen, people have already gathered. Someone says, "Take this challenger to the medical room first." Meanwhile, as our hero walks upward, he says to Jai Yao and the others, "No need to queue up with them to read some guide. Those are for people coming here for the first time. The secret here lies in these seats." Hearing this, Jai Yao asks, "Aren't you here for the first time, Su Ming?" Our hero replies, "Watch closely. You just need to sit quietly on the seat for a period of time." At that moment, the system opens up in the area where they are seated. Seeing the system, our hero says, "The Sky Tower Assembly's selection system will appear." Seeing this, Jai Yao becomes completely shocked.